on DraftKings, under 228.5 passing on DraftKings. Parlay it, plus 224. Typically, this might be a negatively correlated bet. I think it's positively. On the rushing side, 15.5 rushing yards. Mayfield has doubled that mark in each of his last 4 games, averaging 46 rushing yards per game, including the playoffs since the start of last year, exceeded 15.5, 67% of the time. I think he goes way over that. Why? Quarterbacks run more when the receivers aren't getting open. He doesn't have Mike Evans. Chris Godwin's on a snap count. Quarterbacks run more when the pocket's collapsing. He'll be down 2 to 3 starting offensive linemen, depending on the status of Tristan Wirfs. Quarterbacks run more against man coverage. As we all know, defensive backs turn their backs to the quarterback. Eagles, top 12 rated man coverage. Also, and then on the passing side, like we just said, O-line injuries, wide receiver injuries. He's been under this mark in 2 of 3 games. More importantly, Eagles have held Stafford, Mahomes, Dak, all under 200 passing yards this year. Also, he's dealing with a bicep injury, limited practice, officially questionable. So more running, less passing. That's how I see it this week.
You know, I was just going to try and guess what Baker's averaging like yards per carry. I'm going to guess 5. I swear I haven't looked because last week I was in on a Baker prop. It was like 12.5. But at the end of the game, toward the end of the game, maybe it was 17 and he was stuck at 12. They had a big lead, and then the Jets had that big play, and I'm like, oh, please, Baker, run for a third down conversion, and he did, 28 yards. But I bet you he's averaging like 6 yards a carry. Let me check here live on the show.
You're way under.
Where are we at? Oh, I'm so wrong. 9.7 yards a carry. I mean, that is – I almost swallowed my tongue right there. That is absurd. How about Samuel Laporta? Because, spoiler alert, we teased the touchdown props. I'm in on a Laporta touchdown prop, and I'm in on Laporta. What do you like about Sammy Laporta in this one?
Oh, I'm all in. I like Sam Laporta ladders this week. His over-under right now is 38.5 on DraftKings at minus 111 odds. That's a lock, I think, personally. But, you know, all the alt lines, you can go all the way up to 70 on FanDuel for plus 430. If I had to pick up my favorite, it would be 60 yards plus 280. So Laporta was hurt for almost all of last year, really came on the last 5 or so games. Since week 14 of last season, Laporta averages 58.2 yards per game. He's hit 50 in 6 of 9. Keep in mind the over-under 38.5. Why ladder him? Because it's a perfect schematic matchup. This is what fantasy points data does better than anyone else. Vegas does not factor this into their over-unders. This is why we crush every week, every season. It's why we're the best. Everyone knows Sam Laporta loves cover one. He circles cover one friendly matchups on his calendar before the season starts. The Browns play cover one a whopping 40% of the time, John. That's most in the league. That's over double the league average rate. As we all know, that's Laporta's favorite coverage show. Why? Because since he came into the league, he sees a 55% boost to his yards per route run against cover one. That's top 7 of any receiver in the NFL. He averaged 2.79 yards per route run against cover one. It's the most of any tight end. That's top 10 of any receiver. The only guys above him, John, are A.J. Brown, Tyreek, Nico, CeeDee, Puka, Sutton, and George Pickens. And then most importantly, he crushes all other Detroit Lions receivers in yards per route run, targets per route run, any other stat you can think of against cover one. So I really like Sam Laporta ladders this week. And if it hits, take that money, do yourself a favor, buy yourself a Fantasy Points all-in subscription, access to Fantasy Points data. We just lowered prices. Use promo code GURU to get an extra 15% off.
Well, there it is. Scott Barrett of fantasypoints.com on the line with us at Scott Barrett DFB. And I mean, I remember last week, didn't we call ourselves arrogant last week when it came to Jake Ferguson? I believe that was a word we used. Cocky, arrogant, and dude caught 13 balls. So I'm with you on Laporta. Totally.
Yeah,
Well,
as
let's move on
usual,
to Jackson
we're a
Dart.
few weeks ahead of the curve.
Yeah. We are. Let's move on to Jackson Dart, who probably go off in 2 weeks. But I did really want to play his rushing prop at the very least. But also, any thoughts on if he can help unlock Malik Neighbors? Because I may have a Malik Neighbors anytime touchdown prop forthcoming.
Yeah, so I'll start with that one first. He's undoubtedly going to unlock Malik Neighbors. Neighbors led the league in targets the first 2 weeks, and then last week had his worst target share of his career. What happened? He got the quarterback fired. We got this new quarterback coming in, and what do we know about rookies is rookie quarterbacks, they lock on to the number one, and especially when it's a guy who's very vocal about wanting his 10 plus targets per game. And yeah, why wouldn't you do that? He's the best player in your team. So, and he is an upgrade from Russell Wilson. So I definitely see him unlocking Malik Neighbors, who, this is one of my hot takes, I think is more talented than Justin Jefferson. Got a lot of heat for that many weeks ago, but I still feel confident with that. And then, and certainly for fantasy, but I think for real NFL too. And then Jackson Dart, the rushing, I like that angle. So Drake May was my Exodia quarterback for fantasy this year. Why? Because of the rushing upside. Drake May averaged 48.5 rushing yards per game in his final season at North Carolina. Dart, over his college career at Ole Miss, averaged 49.1. So very similar, maybe even better rushing upside from a Jackson Dart. Yep. He's a great DFS play this week, only 4,500 on DraftKings. And I like that prop you just recommended as well. Yeah,
I think he's faster, right, than Drake May. I would have to think. Just my eyeball test.
He's not as
significantly
big.
Quicker. Right.
May there's a little bit of, like Josh Allen's little brother to him, but yeah, Dart is faster, more athletic.
Real quick, you also have Devontae Adams on your list. That's probably DFS, and Tommy Tremble because Jatavian Sanders, probably DFS. But James Cook, real quick, I don't think people realize how good this guy is. Maybe now they do, but the continuity on the O-line is amazing. And he runs well behind that line, and he's durable. I mean, I say just go over until he doesn't hit it. But what do you have on Cook?
Yeah, so he's quietly, sneakily one of the most game script sensitive running backs in fantasy alongside of Derrick Henry. But he's at his best in dominant victories. And so you have the Bills right now favored by 15.5 points. And so since the start of last season, James Cook averages 28.5 DraftKings fantasy points per game in the games that the Bills have won by 6 or more points since the start of last season. So he's a great DFS play this week.
Probably have like 70 yards, after the conclusion of the first quarter, perhaps. Well, great stuff as always, Scott. Once again, Scott Barrett on the X machine. If you're not following Scott, I mean, I don't know what you're doing. Quite frankly, it's the hottest follow in the universe, the Twitter sphere over the last, 5 years at Scott Barrett DFB. Great stuff, Scott. Good luck with all the plays. I don't think you'll need any luck with the Laporta play, but we'll wish you good luck just the same. But enjoy the games, and we'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, thank you, John.
There he is, Scott Barrett of fantasypoints.com. And we are up to the final segment of the program, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling pretty good about the calls. I've spent a lot of time already breaking down all the data, all the coverage shells. I mean, I'm really, really picky. I'm going to pop out 10 props and also I think 4 touchdown props, but also a best bet, which again, I will officially be floored if it does not hit. So hang for that in this last and most horrific segment of this show, which is entitled Prop Points, right here on VSiN.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With a Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, With high-performance fabrics.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's going to teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Let's be real. The odds of a high school athlete getting a college scholarship and making it to the pros are pretty slim. Don't get me wrong. It's okay to dream of becoming a pro athlete, even a famous one. But that's not why I play. My reason why? I love the competition.
My reason why is community.
My reason why is leadership.
My reason why is to challenge myself.
My reason why is love for the game.
And hey, if we don't make it to the pros or onto the cover of Sports Illustrated, that's okay. Because there's every reason to believe we'll excel in something even bigger than sports. We'll excel in life.
There are lots of great reasons to play high school sports. Tell us your reason using the hashtag #MyReasonWhy.
This message presented by the NFHS and the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
You're listening to Western Reserve Radio at westernreserveradio.com on the Live 365 network and the Live 365 app.
Today at circalasvegas.com.
You're on the list for Macy's Fall VIP Sale. That means you're invited to save big on this season's top designer looks at prices you'll love, like an extra 30% off Calvin Klein, Steve Madden, Hugo Boss, and more. Plus, get 15% off beauty and fragrance from Estee Lauder, Lancome, and so many others. This only happens a few times a year. Don't miss the Fall VIP Sale tomorrow, only at Macy's. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Watching Prop Points with the Guru, John Hansen on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Final segment here on a Friday. It is go time here on Prop Points. I'm John Hansen. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to go with 10. I'm going to go back to that nice and even number. I'm very superstitious with certain things. It's funny because on some levels, I'm not superstitious at all. Like the old Madden curse, like, no. I'd never bought that. I'm like, you're at the pinnacle. That's why you're on the cover. There's nowhere to go but down. There's no curse. But some other things, I'm very superstitious, like the number of prop picks I pop out. That's how weird I am with the idiosyncratic methods. Anyways, make sure you download the Prop Points podcast, by the way, on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your pods. But let's get into it. Do have the best of the best is going to be at the very end, and that is this week's best bet. Well, we'll start with Javonte Williams. I mean, I absolutely love this one. Over 18.5 receiving yards. He still led Miles Sanders in route share last week, despite fumbling, 55% to 17%. The Packers allow the 5th fewest rushing yards per game. They give up the 3rd most receptions per game. And they're going to kick their butt, basically, even though Green Bay is going to be without their right tackle. They're going to be playing from behind, no CD. So it's going to be all checkdowns. I would be stunned if this did not hit. I would also be stunned if the next one didn't hit in the very same game. I mean, what is this? Obvious week 4? Jordan Love over 230.5 passing yards. We will all be mad if this does not hit. We will question a lot of things about the universe if this does not hit. Now, if it doesn't, we'll probably attribute it to the fact that they're down the right tackle. But, I mean, come on. They don't have a pass rush in Dallas. They have run the 2nd highest zone coverage rate in the NFL. They have given up an absurd 11 of 16 deep passing for 444 on targets of 20-plus yards down the field, which is Jordan Love's deal. He does Love 10.5 YPA against zone this year, a 77.5% completion rate. 5th best, a 17.5% deep throw rate, 4th best. Remember, Dallas is terrible covering the deep ball. He should have more time to throw compared to last week, obviously, up against the Browns, pushing that ball down the field. We're looking good. Cowboys run cover 3 at the 4th highest rate. You got the rookie Matthew Golden crushing cover 3. And Dallas gives up by far the most passing yards per game, of course. They've made Caleb Williams and Russ Wilson look good the last couple of weeks. Enough said. Let's move on to Puka Nacua. Do I even need to offer any analysis? He's Puka Nacua, for God's sakes, but we will. We'll offer it up. 8+ receptions on 11+ targets and 91+ yards in every game. The Colts are a slot funnel, allowing the 4th most schedule-adjusted fantasy points per game to opposing slots, but the 10th fewest to outside receivers. Puka runs 54% of his routes out of the slot. He leads the league with 0.43 targets per route run and 4.32 yards per route run. That's a pretty damn good combo. And the Colts allowed the 6th most grabs, 25 so far, to slot receivers. 2 weeks ago, Troy Franklin, of all people, went off for 8 grabs for 89 with a touch. Next up, Mike Pittman. Love me some Mike Pittman. That's a guy I used to know personally. I guess we've lost touch. But when he came into the league, I did a bunch of interviews with him. Great dude. 51.5 receiving yards. The Colts... the Rams are a top 10 pass funnel. The Rams have allowed the 4th most schedule-adjusted fantasy points per game to opposing outside receivers. This game has the highest total on the slate. You love that. The Rams play cover 3 at the NFL's 6th highest rate, and Pittman sees a 17% boost to his targets per route run against cover 3 since the start of last year. He'll see a lot of Emmanuel Forbes, former first-round bust. Alec Pierce likely out. I mean, this is looking really good for Pittman. LA is 4th in pressure rate, by the way, so they'll have to get rid of the ball a little bit. They give up the 12th most receiving yards per game to outside receivers, 11th most receptions. Epic Ayamaner, we're calling him Epic, not Elick. Epic Ayamaner posted 4 for 56 and a tutty in this matchup 2 weeks ago. So love Pittman. Sam Laporta, as we discussed, over 37.5. Browns top 3 in both man coverage and cover 1. And Laporta gets a 46% boost to his targets per route run against a man. I loved him on Monday against a man-heavy defense, and he was great. He caught, 4 of 4 targets. They just didn't need him to do anything else. Since the start of last season, his 0.75 fantasy points per route run against man I think Scott Barrett had this stat. Yeah, ranks third best in the NFL behind only A.J. Brown and Puka Nacua. His 2.81 yards per route run against cover one, leads all tight ends, and represents a 55% boost. So we're going over 38. Aaron Rodgers, the complicated fella. This is not very complicated. He'll throw an interception. It's very possible that the Steelers have some success running the ball, and if they do, then he'll probably stay ahead of the down, and maybe this loses. But, the Vikings are a tough matchup, obviously. They have only 2 picks so far, but AR has 3 in his last 2 games. And as a member of the Jets last year, if you recall, they played in London, and he tossed 3 picks. So that's why I'm taking it over. Well, let's go 1 interception. Next up, Travis Kelce, over 4.5 receptions, second highest total on the slate. The Chiefs have the 4th actually the NFL's highest pass rate over expectation. Ravens are top 5 in their deployment of man coverage, which could be a concern, but Kelce still ranks 4th in average separation score and 1st in win rate. So he's still moving all right. So I think we're going to do this. We'll get to 5 grabs. Xavier Worthy could be limited. He didn't have a great game last time out last year, but 2 years ago in the playoffs, all he did was catch all 11 of his targets for 116. Next up, got to get an under in there. So we're trying to diversify a little bit. We got the interception, and we have an under, and it's Abuka Unda. Amika Obuka, under 65.5 receiving yards. Yes, the Eagles are a perimeter funnel, but Ibuka will line up inside here and there. They allow the 8th most receptions and the 8th most receiving yards to outside receivers. So why am I taking the under? Quinyon Mitchell, because he's now a shadow, and with Mike Evans out, he'll shadow Ibuka. He may not right away, but if Ibuka makes a play, then he will. So I think Quinyon Mitchell will erase Ibuka. Nico Collins over 70.5 receiving yards. I think the Texans will actually run the ball in this game. They have a good data in that regard, which will balance it out and make them a healthier offense. The Titans are a perimeter funnel. He'll see a lot of L'Jarius Sneed, who talks a big game, but he's not that good. Michael Pittman, Devontae Adams, and Cortland Sutton have done well. And Collins had 5 for 92 in his lone matchup with Stroud against the Titans last year. All right, let me pop out very quickly the touchdown props I like. Samuel Laporta, anytime touchdown at plus 200. I accidentally popped in this T. Higgins one, my bad, but they do play on Monday. But hey, for what it's worth, I like it at plus 200. Malik Neighbors, plus 185. And this one's weird, but Cole Kmet, plus 380. The Raiders run 55% cover 3, and that's actually a really good shell for Cole Kmet. Samuel Laporta, by the way, when he played for Ben Johnson in this same matchup, had a 31% first read target share. So could be Cole Kmet time. All right, we are up to the last item of business, the best bet for week 4. It's brought to you by G-Bank. G-Bank, built with sports bettors in mind. Right now, you can earn a $50 cashback reward bonus once you're approved and your account is open with a G-Bank Visa signature card. Most credit cards treat gaming and sportsbook transactions as cash advances. G-Bank, though, regular purchases, that's how they treat them. That means no cash advance fees, saving you 3 to 5% on every deposit. You'll also earn 1% cash back on all eligible sportsbook and gaming transactions, 2% cash back on everything else you buy. Apply now at VEASAN.com/GBank. VEASAN.com/GBank. Money moves with Jonathan Von Tobel coming your way at the top of the hour. On today's show, Mike Palm joins with sharp betting insights from Circa. Will Hill breaks down the NFL and college football board. Well, I've run out of time. The best bet is Saquon Barkley, over 13.5 rushing yards. Now, it might be 15, might be 16. 60% of his carries have come with multiple tight ends on the field, and he's averaging only 3 yards a carry. Tampa's excellent against the run. They're excellent against dual tight end situations. Saquon will have to do it in the passing game. They're an underneath funnel. They have good pressure. Check down Charlie. Again, I'd be absolutely floored if that did not hit. Saquon Barkley, I'll even go to 16 yards with that one receiving. That is a wrap for the program. Good luck with all the plays, and we'll catch you Monday for another edition of Prop Point.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Walk right through the door, it's all here to explore.
I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. There was a sudden jolt and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean, and there I was, 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiments. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see. Glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
Honorary Forest Ranger Betty White here, lending a hand to my dear friend Smokey Bear, because for years he's only said,
only you can prevent wildfires.
But there's a lot more to say. Like if you park your car on tall, dry grass, the hot exhaust pipe can start a wildfire. So keep the animals safe, especially the cute shirtless one. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
The stations that are always ahead of the game. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast. Youngstown, Ohio.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Are you ready to hit the gridiron and make your mark? The Cleveland Cobras are recruiting players and coaches for the upcoming Premier Amateur Football League season. We're looking for passion, grit, and the relentless drive to win. Whether you're a seasoned vet or hungry rookie, your shot starts now. Join a brotherhood, build a legacy, strike with the Cobras. Follow us on Facebook at Cleveland Cobras Football, or for league information, visit TAFLfootball.com to get started today. Team, pride, Cobras.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
Are you tired of switching apps just to catch your favorite shows and live events? Say hello to the iMedia1 Network app, your one-stop destination for streaming and everything that matters. From national sports to exclusive local content, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast are now all in one place, anytime, anywhere. Download the free iMedia1 Network app on iOS and Android and unlock the future of sports audio in the palm of your hand. The iMedia1 Network, your sports app in the Valley.
It's time to kick back and listen to the Sports Page with your host, Pat Lucia, right here on Western Reserve Radio. You can call the show at 330-707-4202 and tell everyone what's on your mind in the wonderful world of sports. Now, here's your host, Pat Lucia.
That's not even, look, I'm used to that.
Saturday morning Sports Page, Pat Lucia, Dave Clark. We rock and roll till noon today. 3 hours talk sports. We do it every Saturday morning here on Western Reserve Radio from today is going to be 9 to 12. A lot to get to in the wonderful world of sports. Crazy NFL. These teams, boy, just when you think you can figure this out. Last week we had a season low on our games, Dave Clark.
Yep.
We set an all-time low as far as getting our games, picking our games, sadly. I don't know what else I could tell you.
Yep.
Everything we picked was wrong. I felt like the Animal House where they go, all our answers were wrong. We stole the test, and all the answers were wrong on the test that we stole.
Oh, my God.
That's how I felt. All our answers were wrong last week.
Yep.
You were two, Dave. You got 2 right, 2 and 14, and I was 3 and 13.
Yep.
Oh man, I could go. Then I started when those games were rattling. I go, why did we pick? I think I should have. The ones that bother me is I don't know why the Saints at the Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm wondering what was the point to it, because that makes me think wasn't. Now, well, if it was up to like 14 or 16 or. I could see us taking it.
7. See,
7?
7 and a hook.
No, that's not enough.
Saints at the Seahawks last week. It was 7 and a hook.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked that us took that. I was thinking. Remember, I thought it was double digits, so I could see that NFL team. But when I look at, you see Seattle, they're efficient enough on offense. They run the ball pretty good. Darnold's doing pretty decent.
Maybe because we thought the Saints came back and almost beat the Niners at San Francisco.
Yeah,
that's what happened. I think what happened
had to have something.
Is it was 26-21.
Yeah.
They lost to the 49ers. The Niners didn't cover that point spread.
And we thought this might be close.
So we thought, well, they're going to go up to Seattle. But it was 44-13. It wasn't even a game.
At halftime, it was like 35 to nothing, I think.
It was like 35. It was almost a continuous clock game. That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
The Seahawks, I think, hit the brakes. And the other game, well, the Colts and the Titans.
Colts play?
The Titans.
But we took the Titans, though, right?
Yeah, because we think it was a rival, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And
no, they dominated them.
That was ugly. The Colts beat them 41-20. The Titans were getting 4.5.
Yeah.
They needed that and a truckload more because then they weren't even in that game. The Titans were like a no-show. I mean, they were home. You think it's a division rival game. Okay, this looks good. And the Colts just basically.
And who did we take in the Bears game?
We took the Cowboys.
Okay, that's
and
what I
that
thought
was
too.
Embarrassing.
And the Bears played. Oh, they came out to play.
Well, what we could draw now, this is a time of year, certain pieces of the puzzle fall into place. And I think what we've come to the conclusion easily, this isn't rocket science, people, but the Cowboys' defense stinks, and the Cowboys are not a good football team. Yeah. And the Giants really aren't a good football team either. Now they're going to go with Jackson Dart. They made the big announcement.
Yeah.
Whatever. They got a brutal schedule. The only team that they have on there in the next 6 or 7 games they can maybe win is at New Orleans. That's questionable.
Yeah.
But all their other games aren't going to be. I mean, people think that the Chargers are coming to the Giants this week, coming east. The Giants will be pumped up. Jackson Dart's going to be the starter. And maybe the Giants can surprise the San Diego. We still call them the San Diego LA Chargers. But the bottom line is I don't think so. But getting back to the Cowboys let Russell Wilson look like the Russell Wilson of old. And they barely beat the Giants in overtime. If Russell Wilson doesn't throw the moon ball, which I still don't understand, at the end of that Cowboy game.
I don't even understand the call. Why?
I don't either. I have no idea what the process was.
I mean, because they're calling the plays for him. I don't even know why you do that.
And that's it. I don't. All you needed to do for the Giants is just get the ball down the field, and we'll get to the field goal kicker with the Giants because that's a mystery. Dable again. He ought to be fired. I've had enough of Brian Dable. I don't want to hear how good of a coach he is. Look, that game, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit to the Kansas City game. Russell Wilson, 4th down in the end zone, you're overthrowing the receiver. It's 4th down, Russell. Throw the ball. If it gets intercepted, so what? But it's a 4th down play at the end. I know they weren't going to win. They would have covered if they would have scored. But the point is, it's 4th down. You're at the, 10-yard line. You overthrow the wide receiver in the end zone on 4th down. What are you doing? Like, I don't understand Russell Wilson's thought process, though, either here. But getting back to Dable and the field goal kickers, what is wrong with him? He did that last year when they played Washington. He didn't have a field goal kicker. And Graham Gano, Gano had the bad groin. So you went into that game knowing you needed a field goal kicker. And then you turn it over to the punter. My gosh. I mean, Dable, you're an idiot.
He had a field goal kicker injured this game too, right?
Yeah, he was having Gano. He couldn't kick the extra. He finally let him kick the other extra point. You could see he was hurt. He was injured. But the point is, you needed a kicker, and he didn't have a kicker ready for that game, and he did this again. Yeah. This isn't the first rodeo this idiot's been to.
You got to activate a guy.
Yes.
And you could take it from another position where somebody just would be inactive, and then you activate a guy and get him on the roster as the additional kicker. And then let's say Gano can kick extra points, you let him do that. But any field goal kicking, allow it to be the other guy. Right. And if Gano's not feeling well enough, don't let him kick it all. Rest him until he get back, because he's a decent kicker.
No, he's a good kicker when he's healthy.
Right. So why would you do that?
But he's got a groin issue.
But he did do it last season too. He
did that last year at Washington. A game they could have and should have won if they had a kicker.
Right.
And then he gives some bull crap.
He's okay. He's doing the right thing. He's the kicker. You see, kicker, he's going to get kicked and booted out of that coaching position. He just showing you what's going to happen to him, because how in the world I remember him doing that against Washington. Yes. They should have beat him. They should have beat Washington. They
outplayed Washington. Yep. It was, I believe, the second game of last year. I can look it up. They had no points from kicking. They scored 3 touchdowns and no extra points, and they lost 21-18. And they did not have a field goal, and they did not have an extra point because Dable didn't have a kicker. And then they asked him, and he gives some off-the-wall crap answer that's,
I like how I've seen
he is inexistent.
I've seen Butker injured with Kansas City one time. He was active, but they also had another kicker on hand, Kansas City, and then I also seen the Rams do it too. They had an extra kicker on hand. Their kicker was banged up, tried to kick, didn't do well early in the game, brung the other kicker in to finish it, to do all the kicking duties. But he was there. You can't get caught. Sometimes we think, that doesn't matter. No, you better have a kicker. It can come down to them a lot. Especially in the NFL. We're not talking about college football. NFL, a lot of games come down to your kicking game, special teams, your kickers. And you can't go into a game with a guy injured, especially a kicker with a groin injury. Are you kidding me? You got to go with a guy, if he's got any kind of problem, I'm carrying it. Yeah,
Right.
I'm carrying it.
Especially
Unless my punter can also kick field goals, has some,
right
ability. Okay, that's okay because you can switch them. But other than that, I'm getting another one on the roster. He'll be here in emergency just in case things is not right. What is it? I don't know what he's doing. He's not thinking the whole picture out.
No,
but he'll be out the picture. That's all I can say. And as far as Dallas is concerned, the defense is horrible. And they can't sustain having injuries because with CeeDee Lamb and all them out, that hurts them so bad because they can score. I'll give it to them.
Their offense is good.
Dak will get them down the field, but they can't stop no one.
No.
And I feel sorry. Now, they may put up a fight because I know they're going to be fired up for this game with the Packers. But I'm telling you, you think the Packers is not going to be fired up after? I'm not going to say they let the Browns. The Browns just took it because the Browns' defense was absolutely fantastic.
Held them to 10 points.
And this nonsense of Flacco still starting is nonsense to me. I would turn that thing over to Dylan Gabriel. Their offense stinks. Yeah. He throws the ball right to somebody else. he can't do. He's trying to do some things he can't do no more, like running out. I mean, just turn it over to Dylan. You got to have some semblance of offense because don't waste that defensive talent. That's unbelievable. That defense is tough. And people say, "Well, Baltimore got all these points." That's because he was on the field all day.
Yeah,
At the beginning, they did. They shut Derrick Henry down. They was shutting everything down. But you can't be on the field like that.
Not when the offense is 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out.
Can't do that.
How many times have we seen this over and over again where your offense is 3 and out, 3 and out, the defense is back on the field, back on the field, back on the field, back on the field. And ultimately, second half, defense is just gassed because they've been out there, and especially getting toward the end of the third quarter, and they see the offense doing nothing. It's so demoralizing to them. It's after a while, it's like, guys, come on, do something at your end of the table here. Just you can't continue to be 3 and out, 3 and out, or turn the ball over, and we're back out on the field again. And it's like you're right. I mean, the Giants made the move. They're going to go with Jackson Dart.
Yeah. Well, see, this is what I don't understand.
I don't know why Cleveland just doesn't go to Dylan Gabriel.
Okay. Haven't you heard this talk? Dylan Gabriel, they love him because he runs Kevin Stefanski's offense. Okay. Let's go to that. You got Joe Flacco in there. And I ain't going to say nothing against him because I always try to defend him. But he doesn't really run precision type of game with Kevin Stefanski's offense. He's a deep dropper, throws the ball down the field.
That's what he does.
That's what he does. Okay, so why are you going with that? He can't he can throw the ball. He got an arm. But by the time he even sets up, he's got everybody in his face. And you notice he just throws the ball sometimes. Let me just get rid of it. And he throws the interception.
And that's what he did against Houston last year in the playoffs when they got in.
Yeah.
He just gets reckless with the ball, and he starts throwing the ball into tight windows.
Yep.
And just trying to say, well, I'm going to throw it up there and see the guy, let the wide receiver, quote, make a play. And he's thrown into double coverage or triple coverage.
Yeah.
Or he throws right to the defender right in the hands.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just give it to Dylan and let's see what he could do.
Right.
I would be trying to play both Dylan and Shador.
I do
but
too.
If Dylan is playing, let him play if things go. If he kind of shaky, get Shador. Find out if these guys are anything for you. Anything.
And that's it. Right now, both the Giants and the Browns are in the mode. The Giants, at least, I give credit to.
Me too.
Their season's pretty much.
I mean, go ahead and give Jackson Dart the opportunity.
Let him play the season out.
You want him in there anyway, so just get him in there and see what happens.
See what the hell happens.
But when Kevin Stefanski said, I've already picked my starter, it's Joe Flacco again. After that offensive performance,
yeah, you scored 13 points against the Packers, and like you said, the defense won the game for you. It wasn't the offense,
right?
So I don't know why. Well, I guess because they won, he doesn't want to change quarterbacks yet.
Boy, if you would have heard Edelman and LaShawn McCoy on their podcast,
they were saying
they said a couple other words we can't say on here.
We can't say on here.
But it was like, when they heard that quote, well,
they
we
were-
won the game, so he got
Right.
no. He said you got to spark some on offense to get these guys fired up because that defense is playing out of their mind, and it's one of the best defenses they've ever seen. I mean, against the run, I mean, they're just playing on all cylinders, and you're going to waste that if they didn't get that block. And the things they scored at the end like that, they don't win that game
No.
because there's no offense at all. Judkins, they got to run him. Go ahead and run because he's running like a madman. So you could get some kind of running game going. Dylan Gabriel's your short passing offense you said you'd like to run. Why don't you do it with play action since you got Judkins running good? But you're going to stay with Flacco who can't get away from anybody. And who do they play this week? The Browns? It's not pretty.
They got another game.
The schedule is
Lions at the Lions.
Yeah, at the Lions.
That point spread's 10.5.
Now, see, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
you got to go against an offense like that. Okay, I'm still happy with my defense, but what is my offense going to do?
Not in Detroit either.
Yeah.
In that dome, that's got disaster written all over it.
I just don't
Flacco.
like. Yeah, I think that we will see if he is getting sacked and throwing interceptions. I'm thinking Kevin Stefanski will finally say, "Okay, Dylan, you're in there," and then he'll be the starter the following week.
Then he'll be the job.
But it's time. Let the young guys in and see what's going on.
Yeah, I think first of all, when you look at the Browns team, the offense is so challenged. You've got to. I think, like I said, I agree. Either you go with Dylan, he's the next guy up on the chart. See how he does, and then if he is faltering or gets hurt, you should go to Shador.
Yeah.
And see what Shador can do for you.
Right.
And then see how he does. And then I guess if Shador gets hurt or he is miserable, I guess you go back to Flacco and
whatever. They done did it before.
I would at least go.
I'll find out.
I would go Dylan. Not, but you won't because you won the game. Like, again, that's almost a fault winning the game because it gives you false hope thinking Flacco can play the position. He's not. He's done.
Right.
He was done last year. And I said that when he had that great game, but you could see when he was with the Colts last year, he was done.
Yeah.
Somebody was trying to say, well, it's the system. No, he's old. He's finished.
Well, this is the thing.
And
I don't mind having Flacco on my team, but he's
He's a-
got to be a
he's a
backup.
backup.
He can't be the
No, he's
starter
not
for
the
the
guy.
long period.
No.
You just can't do that.
He's the backup. He's fine as a backup, but he can't be your starter week in and week out. You have a young guy like a Dylan Gabriel and a Shador.
And fans crack me up when they say, "Well, we can't get Shador in there." Did you see that game in the preseason? I said, "Yeah." Did you see the game before that when he
Right.
played? And then they just
Against
stopped.
Carolina, right?
If you see that, you know he has the potential to play.
Right.
But I am in agreement to allow Dylan to go first. If you want him that's your backup, that's fine. I don't have no problem with that. But those are the two guys that should be playing.
Yeah, they should.
I mean, that's all I wouldn't even worry about. Where's Flacco? He's not going to be there next year. Get rid of him. Before everything was about Manning, so you wasn't caring about anything. It's Manning. Now they're starting to flip it to other guys. It's Nussmeyer's, this guy's, that guy.
The savior.
Yeah, don't even put that on these guys. They probably don't want no part of that themselves. Everybody say, I don't want to go to that place where they don't develop. When you really think about it, tell me when the last time Cleveland has developed a quarterback. I'll wait.
Yeah, we'll be waiting a while.
Yeah, you tell me when a coaching staff at Cleveland has developed a young quarterback, and I cannot even think.
I can't either.
I'll go back. Frank Ryan?
No.
I don't know. We got to go way back.
Now you're talking 60 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, 61 years ago.
Yeah. Frank Ryan, that's all I
Ryan.
can think. He was a young guy that started in there
Over
and
60
developed
years.
and kept on playing and was better and better.
Won a championship,
and won a
in
championship.
64.
I mean, this
So
is crazy.
You're talking well over, now it's, when he started, it was well over 60 years. Yeah, I at the end of the day, they're just both these teams, at least I do give the the New York Giants credit. Fine, get Dart in. Russell Wilson looks spent. I don't know, again, the thought process that he's thinking through his mind. They had a game they should have won with Dallas. Russell Wilson had played good, but he threw that moon ball away and then turned the game to Dallas. They weren't going to beat Kansas City. And then I said they were driving down the field. Neighbors has just wasted.
Oh, my goodness.
You're just wasting.
That's why I said get Dart in there, because this guy got to get going. He is an unstoppable force.
Yes, he is. And you're wasting him because he's either he either doesn't get the separation, or Russell just can't seem to get him the ball. And maybe with Dart and a new face, Dart will, focus in and get Neighbors the ball. So Neighbors has to be happy Dart's in, because obviously this wasn't working.
Well, the energy is going to be there for the
It'll
Giants.
Be there.
I don't know.
Their defense is good. I like the Giant defense. They played good against Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
Again, they were out there, I think, a lot. But I thought they played a pretty good game against Kansas City. We'll get to Kansas City because Kansas City kind of looks like the shell of themselves. And then we have the Baltimore Ravens to figure out.
They play each other, so
and they're both 1-2. And whoever thought in their mind that the 1-2 Chiefs would be hosting the 1-2 Ravens, and the Ravens game on Monday night. I don't get the Ravens, man. I don't figure. I can't figure them out. Help me here, because they look great. They should have beat Buffalo. They gave that game away. They played Monday night. They were playing a right game, and then all of a sudden, their defense just
went south.
Just went south.
That was terrible.
And went back. And then Detroit now, after they stubbed their toe against Green Bay, they almost look like they're back on track to be a contender. Right. Which, all right, maybe they figured some things out. So you've got the Ravens that I can't figure out how they're 1-2. And I still think Lamar Jackson, you can make an argument, he's definitely top 2 or top 3 quarterback in the league. He can run. He does everything.
Yeah.
I like the way he plays. But the team, what is going on with the Ravens here? How are they 1-2? They outplayed Buffalo and lost. Now, they didn't play out Detroit. I just don't know what they were doing Monday night against Detroit. And we got that wrong. We took the Ravens and laid the 4.5 and lost. We got everything wrong last week, it seemed. But I just can't figure out what the hell the Ravens are doing. And then Kansas City, they don't look that good. They didn't look that good against the Giants. Mahomes is still struggling. He doesn't seem like he's in sync with the offense. He looks like he's kind of not sure what they're supposed to be doing.
Well, I don't think it's that.
They're very choppy.
Because the timing is not going to be good when you have your starting receivers are not there.
Right.
They're all guys that, not that they're bad,
No.
they're just guys that you don't have timing with because you haven't worked with those guys.
No. But he's hesitating. Like, what? Mahomes, that's it.
But I'm
and
saying
Kelsey
that when
looks
the guys,
like he's done.
Yeah, when guys don't run sharp routes as your other guys do, that will cause you to hesitate because, they're not making the cuts where normally your other receivers will, so you can get rid of the football. So you start to hold it a little longer than normal. And those things are throwing Mahomes off. So, he's in the prime of his career. So I know he's okay. But they can't. I know they are so happy that Worthy is back today for tomorrow's game. And they can't wait until that suspension is up with Rashee Rice because they need those type of guys in there.
Guys now.
They need them. And I give them this. They starting to play. You keep Kelsey out there, but maybe you got to go to 12 personnel and use Gray, the other tight end, so you have both of them out there. Because those are the guys you might have to work with the most. You got some familiarity with both of them to get that offense going because but they don't run the ball good either.
No, they have no running game.
So that hurts a lot of everything too.
And that's part of the problem is Mahomes was shouldering too much, and then some of those passes he was throwing like thrown behind the line of scrimmage. It's just like. What is he doing? Like, what are they like?
Yeah, I don't know the concept.
I watched. They were lucky because he threw the ball. The Giant recovered it, and then Mahomes took it away from him.
Yeah,
and it was almost like if the Giants kept that ball and go on, they would have probably gone on to score. That whole game is totally different.
Yep.
Mahomes took the ball away from the Giant defender, and that might have been the game difference.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, well, it did because they had it. They
right,
had the ball.
The guy had the ball.
That's the guy that's paying attention to what's going on.
Right.
Mahomes, he went in there with a force and took it. But you see him doing a lot of stuff that he don't normally do. That. How about running the ball? He runs it, but he runs people over. He doesn't even look to like, I'm going to go out of bounds.
No.
Or I'm going to step out. Nope. He runs straight into guys and try to run them straight. And he do run them over. And I'd be worried about him getting hurt doing it, but he's probably so sick and tired. He won't say it.
No, he won't.
But I'm sick and tired of this offense. We're not doing nothing.
No,
so I'm just going to take it in my own hands because he's starting to do things that's uncharacteristic of what he usually do. But he shows he's a tough football player. But, man, you better get that offense right. Their offensive coordinator better get that thing together, get some timing with these receivers, and get Pacheco and Hunt. I can't just blame it on them because it's the same thing as blaming it on Ashton Jendy, who offensive line stinks.
Yeah, they're terrible.
They said they was talking about his 98 yards after contact, and people saying, 98 yards, that is nothing. Well, it is when you have been hit behind. He's carried, I think they said, 70-something times or something like that. In only 26 of those carries, he was not hit behind the line. How are you hit 50-something times behind the line before you even get to the line of scrimmage? You shouldn't have hardly no yards rushing. I think he's only got 140-something yards rushing.
For the record, he has, so far, he has 47 carries and 144 yards. 3.1 is the average. Has a touchdown. Longest yard run has been 18 yards. He has 5 receptions, only 3 yards.
Yeah.
But he's
hit all the time.
He's struggling but this is somewhat of the same problem that Saquon Barkley had with the Giants. When they drafted Saquon Barkley, I kept screaming and yelling. Gettleman was the GM then. You're drafting a great player with an absolutely horrendous offensive line, and Barkley played okay, but he struggled because he had no line. And you take these great backs, like I think Ashton, or maybe he won't be a great back. I think he has a potential to be a really good back, maybe great.
Yep.
But when you have an offensive line that horrendous, I don't care who your running back is, they're going to struggle and they're going to play horrible. And Genty is I think potentially going to be a good player, given he needs a line though.
Right.
And if without a line, he's just going to be, kind of like struggling, and he's going to continue.
And go to another team and be great.
Like Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, both of them.
Both of them. Back after a quick timeout. Pat Lucia, Dave Clark. We on till noon, Saturday morning sports page, Western Reserve Radio.
Hey, let me ask you something. Would you seat your 3-year-old child on a windowsill? Would you seat them beside a lit fireplace or by the deep end of a pool? One last question. Would you seat your child in a car seat that's not correct for them? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Secure their future. Seat them in the correct car seat. For more information, visit safercar.gov/the right seat. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Are you ready to join the legacy? This is your chance to become part of something special with the Youngstown Patricians. Honoring the proud football tradition of the Valley, we're on the lookout for talented post-high school athletes who want to make their mark on the field. Whether you're a seasoned high school athlete, college, or former professional player, develop your skills and become part of a team that values hard work, dedication, and community spirit. Don't wait. Begin your path to the gridiron by visiting youngstownpat.com or contacting us on Facebook at the Youngstown Patricians. Be bold, be legendary, join the Youngstown Patricians today. Nina's Pierogi House is your home for the area's best variety of pierogies. Daily specials include the Polish platter, the Hungarian platter, stuffed cabbage, and halushki. Having a last-minute get-together? Lena's has you covered with a wide variety of frozen take-home pierogies and dumplings. Go to Facebook at Lena's Pierogi House to see the weekly lineup of available flavors for dine-in or carry-out. Catch the best at Lena's Monday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Tuesday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. 20 North Main Street in Hubbard or call 234-254-8532.
What do basketball, choir, drama club, and marching band all have in common? They're all high school activities that offer learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. They take up just a fraction of a typical Ohio high school's budget, and they go a long way to giving young people the tools they need to thrive. High school activities, they're more than extracurricular. They're extra important, too. This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Saturday Morning Sports Page back at you. 330-707-4202. For the record, Dave Clark, you were 7-2, and I was 7-2 in college.
Okay.
Irish Mike was 6-3. The only ones you lost the Nebraska game and Illinois game. We all lost Illinois. Nobody thought. Nobody thought Indiana was going to
beat
like 63-10. You talk about taking a team to the woodshed.
Oh my God! And I remember. Now see, and this is another one. If you remember, we was doing it. We was talking on it, and I said, you know what? I'm taking Illinois because I know the Bielema has his team ready to play. I said the only thing that worries me. Remember, I talked about their All-American defensive back will not be playing. Remember that? I said he's not playing. That gives me a pause. I'm wondering. I said this is just one player. I'm still taking Illinois.
Right.
Well, I should have probably went with that mindset and took Indiana, but I hadn't seen Indiana enough to know. Well, they must be got something going because they put something on. I would have never thought that if they beat them, okay, but to put it on them like that, and I forgot who they play this week, but. Isn't it a decent team they playing this week? Somebody that's ranked also?
Yes, let's pull.
We're starting to have some very good,
this
interesting
week
games.
For college football is maybe the best week since week one.
Seriously, I mean, it's some good games
because
today.
They've got, and I know when I put the games together, we only do 9. I could have done 10. I left.
I'm sure you could have put some more.
We could have a couple more in. And the game I left out was the Tennessee-Mississippi State game. I didn't do that one. I went with Arizona versus Iowa State at 7. The games last night were all very close, great games. That game, Virginia beat Florida State in overtime, and there was debate about that catch or not a catch, and they ruled a catch, then ruled it not a catch. And basically pretty much gave Virginia the win.
Right.
The Florida State guy, he was bobbling the ball in the whole end zone, and it looks like he had it right at the end, and they said they ruled yes and then said no. And then ultimately, though, Florida State lost a game in overtime to Virginia.
Yeah.
And then that Arizona came back and beat TCU.
Right.
Which was a very entertaining game. I went to bed. I was tired. But the point is, there was some really good college football last night. Mm-hmm. And then we've got, obviously, on an unbelievable slate of games this week with college football.
Yeah, there's some good games today.
We'll get out when Irish Mike calls in. But Notre Dame's they're in trouble because they got to play at Arkansas.
And that's not easy.
And that's not an easy game. And they beat Purdue. They came back and snapped back 56-30, but that was in a rain delay, lightning delay game, but they won. Mm-hmm. But now they've got Notre Dame's in a bad situation because they can't lose any more games, or they may be out of the playoff. I say maybe because you never know how this season's going to play out.
Right.
And now Clemson is in trouble because they got absolutely drilled again by Syracuse. Kind of has their number.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Syracuse has a lot of teams.
Yeah, and they do.
Beat them.
Right.
They like to upset them. They like to upset my guys in Miami.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I don't know why.
And they used to, back in the day, play Penn State and used to upset them.
And they used to.
I don't know what it is with those big programs like that. Syracuse has a tendency to win those games. You better be ready to play when you play them. They lost their quarterback for the season, guy that came from Notre Dame, the transfer, and now they got to go back to the younger quarterback.
Syracuse went out and hired Fran Brown, and nobody was like, who is he? Like they were saying, well, what? Fran Brown is like, nobody knew who he was. But as it turns out, like, Fran Brown, like, he's from New Jersey, Camden. He was more of a, like, I was trying to figure out, well, what did he do? Like, he was a defensive back coach for Georgia and in 22-23. And then before that, he was Rutgers. And then he coached at Temple. But he was more of like a recruiter, known for, like, getting the talent. And, you know, he's 43 years old. He's had a fair amount. He started coaching as a GA at Temple in 2012, and then worked his way through that, and then went to Baylor in 2017, and then actually went back to Temple, then Rutgers, Georgia, and then he just got the head job at Syracuse. And people were like, well, does this guy really have the qualifications?
Right.
I got news for him. He's known for his ability to recruit good players. Well, he's doing a hell of a job in Syracuse.
Yeah.
I think he's done a great job up there as head coach. I think Syracuse has always had problems. It seems they've got talent, or the head coach, and they've got this young man, Fran Brown, and he's done an absolutely great job. And they beat Clemson last week at Clemson.
Yeah, at Clemson. That's another thing. They used to, now a lot of these teams I just talked about, the Penn States, the Miami of Floridas, they beat in the past. Clemson, it usually be up there at the Carrier Dome when that happens. It don't usually be at the other opponents, but they went in to Clemson and put it to them.
Yeah,
man, you know, they're gonna get it. They've been on TV a lot. They're gonna start being on a lot more because they're a very interesting team. I hate that they lost the quarterback for the season, with the knee injury, but they put their backup in and he did well. You know, and if they can keep things going well that way, you're gonna have to watch them. You got to be ready to play when you play Syracuse. But that's the greatness of college football. It's great to watch that because it's same as the NFL. Any given Sunday, any given Saturday too, because these teams rise up. But you see see things that happen like that. That's a team that nobody talked about, but you see that they are doing well.
Syracuse is 3-1. Last year they were 10-3 under their new coach Fran Brown. So he's done an absolutely unbelievable job. He does a lot of recruiting in South Jersey, in that area. He's from Camden, Jersey, that's basically outside of Philly.
Right.
But the point is that's where it is.
Yeah.
So that's where he does and has had a lot of success. And now he's the head coach at Syracuse. And I thought Clemson would snap back, but
they have problems.
They're having problems. I don't know what Dabo's going to do. Sweeney, I know the fans are upset because this is supposed to be their year.
Yeah.
Their expectations in Clemson was this is going to be competing for a national title.
Right.
They were supposed to be, win the ACC hands down and then ultimately get in the playoff, and they would be talked about as a team for the title.
I want to see if he's going to make some changes because one thing about it, it's hard for me to say, well, they're not winning because of coaching. He has always had a great coaching staff, and he's been a great coach to motivate these guys. I'm going to put some onus on the players now. What in the heck are you doing? Because you got guys, 5-star guys, you got guys that's been there, the quarterback, you got all kind of veteran leadership around there. What are they doing? They're not pulling their weight. No. And I'll probably put guys' jobs on the line. You go back out to this week, but if I don't see the results that I need, I'm making wholesale changes. I mean, because that makes no sense for Clemson, and I don't want to take anything away from Syracuse in the job that Coach Brown is doing, but still, these guys has been getting motored. I mean, you can't do that with that veteran type of leadership, the team that you have. Heisman Trophy candidates, defensive players, that's all these accolades. Man, these guys are getting boat raced. I'm serious. I don't know what's going on. It's almost I won't say the equivalent, but kind of the equivalent to the Baltimore Ravens defense that in the NFL. When you look at that, it's probably one of the worst defenses in the NFL right now.
Syracuse won that game 34-21.
Yeah.
And they were actually up 34-14. So, with that note, let's hit the phones. You're on the sports page. What's up?
Good morning, Pat. Good morning, Dave. How you guys doing?
Hey, Irish Mike. What's going on?
Nothing. Entertaining game last night. Virginia, Florida State. I can say that when I got home from my ball game. What an entertaining going up and down the field.
Yes. And Virginia beat Florida State in OT. It was a classic game. I mean, it was very good. And then TCU was winning the game and lost to Arizona State.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
And that was another entertaining game.
I had a buddy ask me the other day in school. He's not really a big college football fan. He's more of a baseball guy. And he said, isn't college football the only sport in America? Every week people react like very, very – they have all the answers. And just instead of letting it play out over the 3-month time period, that everything's going to change week after week after week.
Overreaction Monday. Yes.
Yeah, correct.
Same with the NFL. People overreact, but that's the way you have in the sports talk landscape of overreaction. That's what everybody does on Monday. Mm-hmm. But everybody, obviously, with college football, we were just talking about Clemson, and even now Notre Dame, you're going to go to a tough game in Arkansas. You've got to win this game. I mean, Notre Dame can't really lose any more games, or they're going to need a lot of help to get in that playoff. They need to really win out. Mm-hmm. If they win out, they'll get in. But if they lose this game with that schedule, and then obviously the USC is going to, they actually have to hope USC plays really good and that they beat USC at the end because they may need those points and that victory in order to get in.
And if there's Notre Dame fans' perspective, it doesn't look like the All-American cornerback Leonard Moore is going to play today for the Notre Dame defense. And obviously they've struggled on the defensive side of the ball this year. And Arkansas quarterback is very athletic. He's a dual threat guy, and he can make your life miserable. So if you could pick one guy, you want to have today be him, and it doesn't look like he's going to be able to play for an ankle injury.
Yeah, he's out with an injury. No, that's going to be again. That's going to be on noon. They're on noon today on ABC.
Yeah, down in Fayetteville.
Fayetteville.
First time they played each other. Yeah.
So they're going to have their hands.
And Dave Clark, Arkansas defense has their issues too. So let's be honest. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. So Arkansas goes into it 2-2. Let's see. They're 2-2. They lost to Mississippi and they lost to Memphis. They lost last week to Memphis 32-31, and they lost week before to Mississippi 41-35. So all their games, the losses have been tough. Now they beat two teams, Arkansas State 56-14 and AAMU, who I'm trying to understand. That was Alabama A&M Bulldogs. They beat them 52-7. So they've got two losses against, but Arkansas State is a funny team because they actually, I was looking at, this is what I always love about college.
Butch Jones is there, Dave and Pat. Butch Jones. Remember Butch Jones in Cincinnati?
Yes.
He's head coach at Arkansas State.
Yeah. And Arkansas State actually, I thought was interesting because I thought, they actually lost a tough game to Iowa State 24-16. They played Iowa State really tough and lost.
Yeah. And Iowa State is a good football team.
Iowa State's a good team. They're 14th ranked. So sometimes you got to be kind of careful on those teams. You think you want to write, Arkansas State. They could be a surprise team. And Arkansas is a kind of a funny team because you can't kind of figure them out.
Yep.
So Notre Dame obviously is at it. And someone said that they have never played before.
That's correct. They'd never played Arkansas. That's the first time. They were supposed to play in 2020 in South Bend, but because of the pandemic, remember they only played ACC teams that year, and everything got wiped out.
And everything got wiped out.
Yes. But they kept the game down in Fayetteville. So
this is their first meeting ever.
They haven't played Auburn or Mississippi State either ever. So, but they're actually in contract negotiations to play home and home with Auburn in about 8 to 10 years down the road.
Okay.
I want to see more of that. Fortunately, in college football, I think it's. I know you've talked about it for years, Pat. It's time to get away from those. It's almost going to turn like into an NFL schedule for if you go to the best 40 teams, you're going to play a pretty good opponent almost week in and week out. It's not going to play 2 or 3 cream puffs and play a tough game. I mean, it's not going to turn into that anymore.
No,
which would be good for viewership for sure.
Yeah, well, they do have to get away from these. I mean, they should play one.
Yeah, I don't think nothing wrong with one.
One, but like Penn State's played nobody. I don't know how good Penn State really is.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
Yeah,
we'll know today.
No doubt.
We're going to know tonight. But you don't really, nobody can tell me that Penn State, I know they're rated, second or third in the country. I don't know how good they are, really.
Right. No.
They have played nobody.
No.
I mean, you've got no idea. You're just saying, they could lose tonight 28-10. I mean, Oregon's a good team. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I have no idea.
I know they got the talent to compete.
I keep hearing but how good are they?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know it from the guys that it had. The quarterback, the 2 running backs, the offensive line play.
That quarterback, Drew Allard, really hasn't played well.
Yeah, but I think he's good enough to do what he needs to do, especially at the college level. I do. So I guess we'll find out. Like you said, tonight we will find out the mystery. But they haven't played anybody that you could say, they've beat a few quality teams. They haven't played absolutely nobody on that schedule. Yeah, well, especially this year.
Yeah, this year.
I never want to say anything about the players too much because they don't. I'm sure they would rather, if I'm thinking the way I do, I want to play the best of the best if you can.
Right.
Because that's where I find out where I'm at. But that's what the schools do. They schedule these things years in advance and keep them. I would be throwing those things in the trash and start getting, where I'm playing harder opponents because it really hurts sometimes when you play that and then you do go against Oregon, get blown out, and then you start to think, are they really that good? And they may be pretty good, but you don't know where your level of play is when you haven't had the competition to play against.
And that's where you're
Because, see, that's where you raise your level sometimes. And you will automatically raise it to where it needs to be when you play continuously good teams.
Right.
So that's why NFL is king anyway, because I don't care how bad a team is, they still NFL players, and you better be ready to play, or you will lose. Just like the old cliche, any given Sunday. So,
correct. What's funny, Pat? You mentioned Notre Dame earlier, and I know one of your best friends is a Notre Dame fan. I'm sure he said the same thing to you that I'm going to say to you. I would be shocked if Chris Ash is back next year as defensive coordinator. Okay, this just for whatever reason so many. You had a lot of starters coming back on the defensive side of the ball. The team last year played good defense. That was the trademark, playing good defense, and now it's not like they have no idea what they're doing. And it's like, fortunately, whether it's fair or unfair, a lot of that heat is coming down on Chris Ash. And they did play better in the second half last week against Purdue after that long delay. And you wonder if, during that 2-hour delay that Marcus Freeman and the defensive staff took more control over the play calling on the defensive side of the ball. I don't know. He says no, but you just never know.
Yeah.
Well, he's
not
probably
the first time it's happened. It's not the last time it happened, right, guys?
Right.
Oh, no. That's happened. No, it happens. No, I mean, again, you don't know, and he's not telling you. If he decided to take he's never going to say.
Nor should he.
No, right, and he's not.
Because, Marcus Freeman's number one go-to guy for the wise old owl, we call him. We all know this is Jim Tressel. He talks to Tressel multiple times, our lieutenant governor. And, all we heard in camp in August, Notre Dame fans, is how the defense was way ahead of the offense. The offense couldn't move the ball. There was a lot of interceptions by both quarterbacks who were talented kids. The defense, the line dominated the offense. That's all we heard for weeks. Now, every reporter I know who covered the team for multiple decades said this was the least access they've had to the team since they've been there.
Right.
Tim Priest has been covering 44 years. He said this is the least access we've had to a team in August as far as physically being able to watch practice with our own eyes. Now, they have people give reports out, whoever they get their information from, and they put it on message boards, but that's all we heard. But I try to tell those guys, too, that the one thing that I think he's learning from Jim Tressel is Jim Tressel was always very secretive and protective as far as information getting out. And I'm not saying that people were putting out false information, but there's no way anybody can tell me that during those practices the defense was dominating the offense, because their offense has been really good this year so far, right? I mean, you have Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price, they're probably two of the top 5 or 6 running backs in the entire country on the same team, right?
Well,
they're both NFL guys. So how in the world was, what I'm saying is he learned from the master to put out information to what you want out there. That wasn't reality.
Yeah. Well, what? Let's say they were dominating in practice.
Okay.
Let's just say that was happening. It's possible.
Okay.
And the reason I say that, who are you playing against? Your own team. And sometimes you're running stuff. Let's say you try to run another team's offense, you're still not going to run it to the perfection of that team that you play. So
they run it every day. Yeah.
Right. They run it every day. So now you got to play a Texas A&M, a Miami, Florida, and all of a sudden it's big problems. Why are you not doing what you should do? Because your guys are not at the level of those guys you're playing against. That's why I don't like when they say that. A lot of times you see that the defense usually is ahead of the offense. That's just normal. Because there's so much complex to the offense.
That's very common.
That's a common thing. But to say, hey, they're great, they're the best. You don't know that until you start playing another opponent. Yeah. You'll find out just how good your defense is.
Yeah, and that's kind of it's hard to gauge it.
And I just think the concepts that he's using compared to the concepts that they had with Golden are completely different. Yeah. But you got the same guys, and you're not playing them with what he had going. He shouldn't have.
Chris Ash, like you said, he's probably implementing his program.
Right.
The guys are used to Golden's program.
And they may not fit his program.
And they may not fit Ash's. Not to say Ash is a bad coordinator. Right. It's just
they don't
his
fit.
Personnel doesn't match up with his. We talk about this all the time. Yeah. Square peg, round hole, where Golden but Golden knew the guy's abilities and was able to tailor-made his defense around them, where Ash is using the approach, no, I know a successful way to do it. I'll get the guys to learn my program, and that's maybe where the gap is.
Yeah, you get confused.
And they get confused, and it may get better.
Yeah.
But they're going through the learning stage of the new defensive coordinator, Chris Ash. Now maybe this defense will get better as the year goes by, but right now they're struggling.
Yeah, well, see that you never overload a defensive player. And I just say that from experience. You try not to do that because you can't play well.
No.
And this sounds crazy. You can't play well when you got to think a lot. And people say, what is that? You don't need all this stuff floating. You need to be instinctive on defense.
Who's that defensive coordinator for Penn State? Who's the D coordinator for Penn State?
Jim Knowles?
Jim Knowles.
From Ohio State? Yeah, he's at Oklahoma State and Ohio State. Jim Knowles.
I think LeVar Arrington was talking about his son plays for Penn State. He's a defensive player, and he even said to LeVar, goes, my God, there's just so much. The defensive playbook, there's so many defensive plays. LeVar's going, you don't need all that. No. Like he was just saying that there's just so much, and it's like it's defense, and it's like all these plays, and it's almost like this goes to your point, Dave.
You don't need that. It overloads the.
It's kind of like you're overloading your players with all this information that at the end of the day, they're not going to use. And it's like, keep it simple sometimes. It's the old KISS, keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
But the point is, it's just that you overload these players with all this information. They almost get like brain lock.
Yeah, I mean, because when you start having to analyze and think,
Yeah.
That meant you're going to be a step slow to whatever you're doing.
Right.
But when you can be instinctive as a defensive player,
right,
you can be one of the best because
right,
you don't think, you just automatically you see
right,
something, boom, go.
Right.
But when
It's
you got to think, well, should I take that?
Right.
And I'm going to take this misstep, and then the whole situation is messed up.
It's like when Woody Hayes coached Ohio State, he would just, his offense, he had like, it wasn't a big detailed offense, but he just ran the same. He had like maybe 10 plays, but they just practiced those 10 plays. And that's what always cracks me up about stealing signs. Woody didn't care if you knew his signs because he's going to beat you anyway. Because he would just execute the play so much better, and the players were just instinctively doing what they needed to do. They didn't have to think about it. And I know you go back to that, but I think when you get players starting to think, I think that's where you have the problems. You've got to put it where it's just instinct. It's like they know what to do, and you do it.
Faster.
You play faster. You react, and you know what you need to do, and you got to be like, and the more you overload them, then if they get kind of confused, which way are we in? You're screwed.
Yeah.
Which defensive formation are we in? If they don't know, if they're confused on that,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You're going to have problems.
And I had a situation like that playing in college one time. We had our two different defensive coordinators had us read certain things as a strong safety or a slot corner, which I played. Read this, and he had us doing all these little things, technical things. It made me slower. But when we had a situation that the coordinator had before that, he said, you see the guard blocking down? As soon as you see it, take that step to block down, shoot the gap.
Yeah.
And get to the backfield. You can get there and make the tackle. That made us play so much better than thinking of all these different things. Oh, if he takes a step to the left or right, man, you don't need all that.
You know, it's funny,
it's too
Pat,
much.
I had an argument with a Notre Dame fan earlier this week, and he said, Ash only did the 3 games, give the guy time. And I said, hey, when Al Golden came to Notre Dame, his very first game as defense coordinator at Notre Dame was Notre Dame played Ohio State down in Columbus on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
That was his first game. I think you went to the game.
Yeah, I went to that game, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the score, in the middle, with 5 minutes left to go in the game, the score was Ohio State 14, Notre Dame 10.
Yeah, it was
now,
close.
The game ended up 21-10. Ohio State scored in the last 2 minutes to make 21-10.
Right.
But it was 14-10 with 5 minutes left to go in the game.
It was a close game.
That night, the defense wasn't the issue. They played great defense.
No,
that was his very first game.
Yeah, his first, he did.
With a lot less personnel that they have right now.
Yeah.
They had less personnel in 2022 on the defensive side of the ball than they have right now.
Yeah.
That's a fact. That's not an opinion.
Yeah, that's why it's so puzzling.
Well, Al Golden's...
thank you.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why I'm perplexed. The defensive line's played terrible. No pass rush.
No.
We rush 4 guys. We never get there for 3 games this year. It's been unbelievable. Yep. The pass rush is non-existent when we rush 4 guys. And there's veterans up there. It's not like guys haven't played before.
Yeah, that's why it makes you notice. That's for sure.
Okay. Hold on for a minute, Irish Mike. When we come back, we're halftime of overtime. We'll be back, Irish Mike, ready to do our football picks. College picks are coming up.
Okay.
Pat Lucia, Dave Clark, Saturday morning sports page, Western Reserve Radio.
The stations that always keep you in the zone.
I love it.
It's awesome.
Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
Village Tavern's been a beloved local landmark in Hubbard, Ohio for nearly a century, and now it's better than ever. Recently renovated and still serving up the same warm hospitality, the Village Tavern is your go-to spot for great food, cold drinks, and a laid-back atmosphere. Whether you're stopping in for dinner, catching up with friends, or just looking to relax, you'll enjoy a full menu of American favorites, rotating drink specials, and friendly service that makes every visit memorable. Be sure to visit the Village Tavern at 746 North Main Street in Hubbard, right next to Repair That Glass. To learn more, go to villagetavern3.com.
Honorary Forest Ranger Betty White here, lending a hand to my dear friend Smokey Bear, because for years he's only said,
Only you can prevent wildfires.
but there's a lot more to say. Like if you park your car on tall, dry grass, the hot exhaust pipe can start a wildfire. So keep the animals safe, especially the cute shirtless one. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Here's a fun fact for you. The average chameleon can point their eyes in 2 different directions. On the other hand, the average human can't. So unless you're a chameleon, there's absolutely no way you can focus on texting and driving at the same time. So don't do it. Unless you're a chameleon.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
All right.
Saturday morning sports page back. I guess this is the third quarter. 3 hours today.
Yep. Yes,
so we got an hour
going
of
to the
overtime.
third quarter. Yep, hour overtime.
Let's get Irish Mike here. Hey, Irish Mike.
Guys working overtime.
Overtime.
Huh?
We go to noon today. Over OT. OT.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Good for
we're got another hour here. Got a lot to talk to. We can't get it.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, we even didn't get to baseball yet. I did want to throw out
Oh, my
some
beloved
baseball.
Cleveland Guardians. Go
The Guardians are
well, good to what is that? Who lost? Detroit?
yeah, that was
By Boston.
Boston beat them. Boston clinched a playoff spot.
This is going down to the wire.
This
There's only 2 games left, right?
Yes, there's 2 games left in baseball. Let's slide over to that, and then we'll go to the picks. But the way baseball lays out now, these 2 games. See, what's really good about this weekend? Now, this is it. 2 games left. The Yankees have clinched. Now, the Yankee thing is the Yankees are playing. They've got to play hard because they could potentially take the AL East title away from the Blue Jays. They're currently tied with the Blue Jays, both at 92-68, but the Blue Jays have the tiebreaker. So the Yankees have 2 games left with Baltimore. Blue Jays have 2 with Tampa Bay. If the Yankees win their last 2 and Blue Jays split, the Yankees win the division. So that's something there. And then they get the bye. Boston won last night. They beat, was it Detroit? So Boston clinched a playoff spot. And they have Detroit today at 4 o'clock. They won last night 4-3. So they clinched the playoff spot. The Red Sox are in. Now, the interesting part is you've got basically the Guardians and the Tigers in Houston. You got 3 teams there. And right now, Houston is a game behind the Guardians and the Indians. The Indians have the tiebreaker. So if the Indians and the Guardians tie, Guardians,
Tigers.
the Guardians have the tiebreaker with the Tigers. Right. My fault. Yeah. So if they tie, and they are tied right now, the Guardians win the division. Detroit would be second as a wild card. Houston is
Cleveland's magic number's 2. Any combination, one more Cleveland victory and what Tigers lost.
Right.
If Cleveland wins both games, they're in. They're the division.
They win the division.
They're division champ because they got all the tiebreakers. So any combination of 2. So if Cleveland wins tonight and Detroit loses in Boston, then they won the division.
They win the division. The thing where this gets dicey, Houston is a game out of.
Yeah.
They're 85-75. They're a game behind Detroit and Cleveland. You're right. If the Guardians basically win, if the Guardians tie with the Tigers, they win the division. They got the tiebreaker.
Correct.
Where this gets dicey is they have to win because Houston is only a game out. Bottom line is this. You got Cleveland, Detroit, and Houston. One of the 3 teams is not getting in the playoffs.
Right. 2 spots left,
There's
right?
2 spots left for 3 teams.
Yeah. So somebody's
going to be sitting home it's either going to be Houston, Detroit, or Cleveland. So Cleveland hasn't clinched it, but if they do, I believe if they do win, if they win today and Houston loses, Cleveland will clinch a spot.
Yeah.
Because then Houston's out because they'll be 2 games out with 1 left. Houston's out. So if Houston loses and Cleveland actually, if Houston loses and Cleveland wins, Cleveland may not win the division yet, but they'll get in as a wild card.
But if Detroit lose also.
Yeah, and then if
now
Detroit
Houston got a chance, right?
Right. Houston still has a shot if Detroit loses and they lose.
I don't know if they got the tiebreakers with
Yeah, I
Detroit
think they might have the tiebreaker with Detroit.
And if they do, they'll get in. Oh, man.
And then,
one thing, Dave, one thing the Guardians fan want is hypothetically, what they want is obviously to win the division, quite obviously, but somehow, some way that Tarek Skubal pitches tomorrow in Boston for Detroit, that he has to pitch because that would be his normal day pitch. If they can clinch a playoff spot somehow tonight, Detroit, then he won't pitch tomorrow. He'll go game 1 of their, the playoff on Tuesday or Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? They can save him.
They can keep him.
Same thing with the Williams guy for the Guardians. If they clinch a playoff spot, Williams won't pitch tomorrow for the Guardians, but if they need him to pitch tomorrow, then their ace is going to pitch tomorrow. Same thing with Detroit. So it's kind of interesting dynamic on both ball clubs about their pitching.
Now, when you get over to the National League, this is where it really gets interesting. The New York Mets and all the money they spent on that team is, I think I have to look it up. Was it $400 million payroll?
$340 million.
Okay, 340. Thank you. They are basically in a real tough spot because right now they're out of the playoffs. If they tie with Cincinnati, Cincinnati has the tiebreaker. Cincinnati gets in, the Mets are out. The Mets now lost last night. Cincinnati won. The Mets no longer control their destiny. The Mets have to win 2 games and hope Cincinnati loses one of the 2 to get in. If they don't and they tie with Cincinnati, Cincinnati would get in the last wild card spot and the New York Mets would be home and not play in the playoffs.
Right.
But if you ask
last night, Pat, on Baseball Network, what would be more of a baseball story for the 2025 season the last 6 months? The Detroit Tigers blowing a 15.5 game lead in the middle of July. You know what I mean? That obviously has been a big national news story. Or the Mets with a $342 million payroll not making the playoffs.
Well,
that was his question.
I'll put it this way.
Yes, sir.
If Detroit gets into the playoffs, it won't matter.
Correct.
If they blew that lead but get in, who cares?
Yeah.
Because everybody remembers in the playoffs, everybody starts 0-0. Records are out the door.
It's Ohio State losing to Michigan, then 6 weeks later win the national championship.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It's exactly that. And bottom line is, it won't matter. Detroit blew that lead to Cleveland. It will not matter. The Mets will be the story, especially if the Mets don't get in.
Right.
Yeah.
Again, if the Mets get in, nobody cares because, again, they're in.
They got the opportunity.
They'll get the opportunity to basically resurrect their horrendous last month or 2 of their season, which has been bad. But the bottom line, and that's an understatement, but if the Mets get in, it won't matter. Same thing with Detroit. If they both get in, none of it matters. However, if somebody's left out, if the Mets are out, which right now the Mets are out, Detroit's technically not out as of right now. If Detroit wins, they'll get in because they're a game over Houston. Mm-hmm. So that's what you got to remember. Detroit is technically not out of it. As of this morning, the New York Mets are out of the playoffs. Yeah. The New York Mets have to hope the Cincinnati Reds lose to Milwaukee one or both games, and the Mets have to beat Miami, which they didn't do last night.
They got to win both.
They got to really pretty much win both and hope Cincinnati loses one of the games.
Yep.
Or they're home.
Mm-hmm.
And that was after they signed Soto and all the money he's poured into it. For them to not be in the playoffs will be, I think, pretty much the story. Detroit blowing the title when they couldn't lose. For a while, Detroit looked like the best team in baseball, couldn't lose, and all of a sudden, it's like they did a 180 degrees, and then they became the worst team in baseball.
Yeah.
But, Pat, let me make this comment to you guys, to you and Dave. You know, Cleveland lost last night home to Texas. The Houston Astros lost to the L.A. Angels. The New York Mets lost down to the Miami Marlins down in Miami. Obviously, Miami, the L.A. Angels, and Texas, the 3 winners last night, are not going to the playoffs. They've been eliminated the last week or so.
Right.
But, you know, Major League Baseball is not like the NBA, okay? I mean, you have pitch pitching and guys play. Good teams, bad teams can beat good teams at this time of year. You know what I mean? It's not a given. All these games are going to be really easy, and they're just going to blow right over, and you're going to win 9-1. You know what I mean? And there's that perception of fans that think that, and it's not reality. It's not like the NBA in late March, early April.
No, it's totally it's different.
Yep.
Totally different.
It's different.
Yeah, even though they play 162
and you never know,
games.
Dave Clark, who's playing for a contract for the next year, right? You never know.
Yeah, that's
that
right.
batter that wants a couple more home runs, right?
Yeah, that's motivation.
There you go, money.
Yep.
And that's
contract. I know we're out of the playoffs, but I'm thinking about my personal future.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I'll tell you, man. This is this part.
It's been fun as a Cleveland fan, Pat. The stadium has been packed all week with 33,000 people. They've been loud. They've been active. I mean, people are all the sports talk show. The Browns beat the Packers, all week, and primarily it was all talk about the Cleveland Guardians and what they've done because they've captured the city. It's a national news story.
Oh,
like,
yeah. I
you
mean, the
were
way they
back
were
by
winning.
11 games like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
No chance.
And I mean, you got to give them credit. I hate to see them lose, but they played their hearts out. But now it comes down to these last two. They got to be focused and get to. But they have some problems with Texas. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
It's like they got their number.
Yeah.
Texas can hit.
Yeah.
The last 3 games, we won. The Guardians won Wednesday night, but they lost Thursday and Friday. The last 3 games in a row, they've fallen behind after the top of the first inning. Like last night, you're going the bottom first, you're down 4-1. When you're offensively challenged like the Guardians are, and we all know they're offensively challenged.
Yes.
4-0 feels like 8-0.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And
I know you have 9 more innings, Pat Lucia, but and the pitching's been phenomenal over the last month. The pitching for 18 straight games was absolutely phenomenal, especially the starters. Their ERA was like 1.35, which is unheard of. But it's like tomorrow, guys, you can't give up 2 or 3 runs in the top of the first inning. You just can't do that.
Yeah, can't.
See,
you're right.
Cleveland has to kind of hope that Boston plays to win, and then Boston doesn't we've clinched it now. We're in. We don't care. They got to hope that
they might.
Boston comes out.
Or they don't got some vendetta against the Guardians and just screw them.
Right.
Pat, Detroit had a 3-0 lead in the 6th inning last night, and they blew it. They lost 4-3. Right?
Sure did.
Fans were like, here we go again. Right? We win 1 game, and we're like 1-9 in our last 10 games.
Miami beat the Mets last night 6-2. Mets were never in the game either. Yeah. Miami got up quick, and the Mets just never.
It's so funny. This is the only time I started watching baseball.
Yeah, me too. I mean,
I might watch highlights and stuff.
Now I listen to the game. Like I listen to I got the app. I can listen to the Yankees on radio, and I listen I've been listening to the Yankees now the last few nights because I want to see how they did. And John Carlos Stanton had 2 homers last night, 5 RBIs, and Judge had another homer.
Home run, yeah.
They've been bombing,
Yeah. And I like, getting a chance to watch it though. I've been trying to watch everything this past week, all kind of sports.
Yeah, there's
everything.
This
WNBA,
is a smorgasbord.
everything.
Yeah, right now this is the smorgasbord of sports.
Yeah,
because you've got baseball, football, college football heating up. And speaking of that, let's go ahead and let's do our picks. Baseball, obviously, we'll know after all the games tomorrow are at 3:00.
Correct.
So after
those games,
those games are over, it'll all be mapped out who's going what. And again, the Yankee fans are hoping they could still get a division title. Maybe Boston's in the playoffs; they could sigh of relief. But it's Cleveland, Detroit, and Houston. 2 of the 3 are going. One of those teams will not be playing in the postseason. And right now, Cleveland and Detroit have a game lead over Houston.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how that plays out. All the other divisions are all solved and taken care of. The National League is pretty much set, except for the Mets or the Reds. And right now, the Reds would win the last spot if they tie with the Mets. The Mets don't have that tiebreaker. The Reds do.
Yeah.
So Mets fans are
nice thing though. Cincinnati, small market,
playing good. Both Ohio teams. That'd be great if both Ohio teams get in.
Really a throwback there.
Yeah, Cincinnati and Cleveland both make the playoffs. That would be kind of cool, I think.
Yep.
Speaking of that, let's go to our picks. Irish Mike, for the record, you were 6-3 last week.
Okay.
You were good. Dave Clark and I were actually in college 7-2.
All right.
We played our pro football was abysmal. We had the worst. We had the worst week.
How long this show been on?
Well, let's see. Our show started in 2002. But I think you've been doing the show with me for. I had Bob Fish, and then you and Tamron, and Tamron, and then Tamron.
I was trying to think when I came, 2004, 5.
Yeah, you've been probably doing this for at least close to 15 years, easy.
It's the worst.
And that was the worst week either one of us ever had
in a lifetime.
You had Dave Clark was 2-12. I was 3-13, and we just actually
2-14.
2-14. Yeah, 2-14 and 3-13.
That's right. Give me all of. I want all of it.
You
want all that
it.
smoke.
All of
I
that
got
smoke.
Jacked up.
Yeah, we both did. But yeah, not so good on the pro. We need to recover this week, and badly.
And I will.
Yeah, we hopefully will.
I can't go to one.
Or we're going to have Gessler in here telling us where we did wrong.
He'll be the guy.
Right.
He'll be on. You'll hear.
Gessler's going to be in here giving us like, you guys don't know what you're doing. Because I made a recommendation to Jim about what Gessler should do after they do those Poland games every week. And I said to Jim, Gessler's a coach. He knows what he's doing, right? I said he should list all the things the losing team does wrong, and then right after the game, go over to that coach, tell him what he did wrong.
Well, that'll go.
You think that would go? I think you would probably have a lot of, when they were doing that, they had a lot of beep, 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 because you'd have a lot of
ratings would go up.
Yeah, ratings would go up. But you would be probably, because all of the foul language and expletives would be like beep, 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 beep. Yeah, that's the last thing. To go over to the high school coach, the end of a loss, like last night, South Range got shut out by Poland. I was shocked. But anyway, I digress. But getting back, let's look at our college games for this day. USC's at Illinois. Illinois we got that one wrong. All of us did. We went with Illinois to beat Indiana or cover, and that didn't happen. 63-10. Although, Irish Mike, wouldn't it be a fair question to ask Brent Bielema what the heck went wrong?
Very fair question. Very fair.
I mean, 63-10?
Yeah,
I mean... And they were. I think they were saying that's the first time in history that a top 25 team lost like that.
Yeah.
I heard that, and I wrote, "Oh yeah, but they're playing USC. USC had the late game Saturday night, beat Michigan State and looked pretty good, 45-31. USC travels to Illinois. It's a noon game on Fox, so that means the USC kids are going to think it's like their body clock will be, it's 9 a.m. Illinois is actually getting 6.5 points at home. So actually the home dog, Illinois gets 6.5. I thought that was, but the way they played last week, I guess that's about right, no?
Yeah, correct. They got exposed a little bit, didn't they?
Oh my God. Yeah, huh? I mean, 63 points. I remember watching that game I was at the gym and it was on TV. I'm watching it. I'm going, what is going on? Like Illinois just, what happened? Like they didn't.
And I want to take them to bounce back.
Right.
To 6.5 sounds good. But when I looked at USC, now I seen they can score.
They can score.
Oh my goodness. They can definitely put some points on the board. So will the Illini recover from that 63 and be able to stop somebody, or I'm concerned.
What? Yeah.
I say no, Pat. I'm going to take USC. I'll take the Trojans.
Yep.
And lay the points.
I mean, I'm basically with you on that.
I got to go USC. I liked what USC did Saturday night. The only concern is they're coming. It's not East, it's Central Time Zone, so it's a 2-hour difference, not 3. I was wrong. So they're going to think it's 10 o'clock. It's actually 11 o'clock. They're playing this game at 11 o'clock in Illinois. Yeah. Because it's at Illinois, and it's noon here, but it's 11 there.
Yeah.
So the kids in USC are
It's
coming
like
2
9
hours.
o'clock, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the time
Yeah,
when
it
you
is.
start bringing your kids one day early. People don't
Yeah.
think that makes a difference,
Oh, it
but
does.
Just to let the body settle into that new time zone.
Okay, Irish
And
Mike.
all these schools in the Big Ten, Lucia, have been complaining about Big Ten playing at noon, the Fox game of the
Yeah,
week. with Joel Klatt.
they always do.
You took their money. Okay?
Yeah, don't complain
That's
about
what
it
they
now.
want, but you took their money.
Don't complain. Right.
Too late now.
Don't whine. Fine wine with that cheese. But
You
give
love
me
them dollar signs when you seen them.
It's called, right. It always comes down to the green. Follow the green. No matter what, you're right. You took all the money. You wanted all that green. You did what you did. Stop whining about it as you're cashing the checks. Right. Cry all the way to the bank. The 60-some-odd millionaire. Give me a break. Let's go to your school, Irish Mike. They're up next. They're also on today, noon on ABC at Arkansas. And actually, the Razorbacks are getting 4 and a hook. So another home dog here in play. Where's Gessler's dog?
I know. And in honor of them, I'm doing another dog. I got to do a dog. I'm gonna take Arkansas.
Irish Mike, what you say?
I mean, going down to Fayetteville or 11 o'clock kickoff. If
Yeah.
Leonard Moore's not going to play, I mean, he's one of the best cover corners in the country. He's going to be an All-American. That's just not good news for Notre Dame. So I'll take Arkansas on the 4.5. Notre Dame can still win by a field goal, but I'll take the 4.5.
I'll take ND, probably wrongly, but I'll take ND. I think they snap back and they're just a little bit better. Although Arkansas is not that bad of a team. You know what? No, I'll leave it. I'm kind of debating that, but let's get on to the Ohio State Buckeyes. 3:30 today. Finally, they open up their Big Ten against the Washington Huskies in Seattle.
Oh, that's a hard place.
3:30 CBS.
And Pat, that's 12:30 in Seattle, so that's a break.
Right, that's a break kind of for the Buck. You're right.
Absolutely, it's a big break.
Yep.
And the question is, Irish Mike, another home dog, and this is a little heavy on the points, 8.5.
Ooh.
So the Washington Huskies are home getting 8 and a hook.
Oh,
Now the question I have, Washington has played nobody. Well, they played Colorado State 38-21. Then they played this school, University of California, Davis. That's who that is.
Okay.
They won 70-10.
Okay.
And then the next game, they played their rival, Washington State, who they beat 59-24. So that's their 3 wins. We know the Buckeyes basically beat Texas, Grambling, and they destroyed Grambling. And they were off, and both these teams were off last week.
So Ohio State has only beat Texas and Grambling?
And OU. And actually, they didn't cover. They didn't cover the point spread with OU.
I see. Those are the games I want to get rid of. They shouldn't be playing Grambling. Shouldn't be playing OU. Either one.
No, they should not play either team. But I guess the question I have, I thought was, yeah,
a part of me want to say take Washington up there. But I don't know if they'll be able to they put up big numbers against those teams. I don't think they'll be able to do it against Ohio State. So
Washington did play last week. My mistake. They played Washington State last week. The Buckeyes were off last week. They played OU the week before.
Well, I'm taking the Buckeyes.
You're gonna take the Buckeyes and lay the points.
Yeah, that's a lot of points though. It is, but I'm gonna take.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Buckeyes and lay the points. How about you, Irish?
I'll take Ohio State as well.
Okay. The next game is LSU at Ole Miss. And Brian Kelly, I'm sure. My only question I have is, who is Brian Kelly going to offend this week? Like, what's he going to say to tick? He likes to do that now. He likes to be that old kind of guy that's going to say something. Didn't you watch the second half, Dabo? That kind of thing. He's got to say something to make somebody, mad. But that's just his MO. Anyway, I move. ABC today, 3:30, LSU at Ole Miss. Ole Miss is actually laying 2.5. So LSU's getting 2.5. This is the first not a home dog here. So Mississippi lays 2.5 to LSU. 3:30 on ABC.
LSU's starting tailback is not playing.
Okay.
That, they can run the football with him, but, I don't know what they got behind him. Probably do got somebody good behind Durham. So they giving 4.5.
I'm going to go with LSU, Pat. I'm going to go with LSU. And Brian
2.5.
They're on a roll. Nussberger can throw the ball around. Ole Miss's defense is very suspect.
Yeah, that's why I'm going that way too. I'm going LSU too.
I'll take the better team. I think LSU. Although Ole Miss has won Georgia State, Kentucky 30-23. They beat Arkansas 41-35. A tough game, and then they won last week against Tulane 45-10. So I don't know what you draw from that, but yeah, I'll take LSU. Let's go to the next one. Auburn at Texas A&M. And Auburn basically is, where are we? Oh, getting 6 and a hook on the road. So Texas A&M home taking on the 3-1 Auburn Tigers. And Auburn gets 6.5 on the road at College Station on Kyle Field. Going to be 88 degrees down there.
I'm taking Texas A&M. That's a rough place to play.
Yeah, I'm going to go A&M and.
I'll go Auburn. I think A&M will win, but I can see Auburn staying with them. They played on the road last week. They're much better this year, and Texas A&M defense is suspect. So I'll go with Auburn. I think A&M will win, but I'll take the 6.5.
Okay, get 6.5. Yeah, that one's interesting because I'm on the line on that. Can A&M win but not cover? I'll take Texas A&M. Say they'll cover. Let's go to Indiana at Iowa, and Iowa gets 8 and a hook at home. Indiana obviously came off that absolute boat racing Illinois, and then Iowa won Friday night. They beat your favorite team, Irish Mike, Rutgers.
Yeah, Scarlet Knights.
The Scarlet Knights, they beat them 38-28. So Iowa had a big win last Friday night. And the question is, how do you feel about them this week? They're playing Indiana, hosting Indiana, and they're basically getting 8.5 points. So
I'll take Iowa at home and 8.5.
8.5. That is a lot at home. They play well at home too.
They do.
This is Indiana's first road game too, guys.
Yep.
Yeah, that might be a factor. I'm gonna try Iowa too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Indiana. After last week.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of points, didn't they?
I got to go with Indiana.
Oh yeah, they were at home.
8.5. They were home.
They showed that they could score.
But they could score, and I just think Indiana's a lot better.
And if they blow them out,
yeah,
they real.
They're a real deal.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on to the 7 o'clock ESPN game. Arizona taking on Iowa State.
That should be a goodie.
And that should be a good game.
Yep.
And it looks like that Iowa State lays 4.5. All right, hold on, Irish Mike. We got a couple more to do. Saturday Morning Sports Page, end of the third quarter. Back after this quick timeout on Western Reserve Radio.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Western Reserve Radio is the Valley's online source for sports talk and local live events. Tune in and be a part of their live weekly shows, as well as all of the hard-hitting action of Youngstown Phantoms hockey, high school football, and the GDFL. Find them at westernreserveradio.com. Tune in and the Live 365 app to be a part of the area's sports conversation. Be sure to visit them on Facebook at Western Reserve Radio and on Twitter at WR_radio.
If I could be you.
And you could be me for just 1 hour.
If you could find a way
to get inside each other's mind.
Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
We've all felt left out. And for some, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
The year was 1907. The Cubs won the World Series and the Ford Model R hit the assembly line. While here in Ohio, school administrators came together to form the Ohio High School Athletic Association. One thing that hasn't changed since 1907 is the dedication of the OHSAA to education-based athletics in Ohio. School sports teach responsibility, sportsmanship, and life lessons that stay with students long after their playing days are over. The OHSAA seeks to prepare students not for the next level of sport, but for the next level of life.
Saturday morning sports page right back at you. Let's get Irish Mike back in. Hey, Irish Mike. Okay. Let's see. We got Arizona at Iowa State. Arizona is laying 4.5. So Iowa State home laying 4.5 to Arizona. So what do you think?
You say Arizona's on the road?
Yeah, Arizona's at Iowa State.
Ooh.
7 o'clock tonight on ESPN. So,
man, that's a.
I'm gonna go with Iowa State at home.
Yeah, they play so good. I think this is gonna be a very interesting football game. And Arizona's getting how many points?
4.5. Yeah, Arizona
and
gets.
It's a league game, Dave Clark. Remember, it's a league game. It's a Big 12 game. It's a league game.
Yeah, because Arizona is now in the Big 12. I know that's what.
Yeah, it gets you all mixed up.
Now you see, here's the thing with Arizona. They beat Hawaii. That was Timmy Chang, the coach of Hawaii, 40-6. Then they beat Weber State 48-3. They played Kansas State and they beat them 23-17. Now they're 3-0. And then you got Iowa State in here.
They played better comp.
But I think they've played better teams. Before I say that, I should look it up. But
I know they beat Kansas State on first game in Ireland. That's
right, they beat
0.
that. Yeah, they beat that week 0. Yeah, they beat Iowa 16-13. They beat South Dakota State 55-7, and they beat Arkansas State 24-16.
Oh,
so Arkansas State gave them a pretty decent game. Yeah. But as to point, they beat Kansas State and Iowa. They've had a respectable schedule here. Kansas State's 17th in the country.
Kansas State.
Kansas State was set. They beat Kansas State, and Kansas State is 17th in the country.
And
not right now. They lost 3 games.
No, they lost 3 games. They were when they played them.
At the time, yeah. Correct.
And how much did they beat them by?
24-21. But that was the first game in week 0.
Yeah.
So
you know what? I'm going to.
So I don't know what you feel.
I'm go on the limb and take Arizona.
And the points.
In the points.
I'll take Iowa State and lay the points. I don't know if that's
4 and a hook, right?
4 and a hook.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. The next one is Oregon at Penn State. Penn State Oregon's getting 3.5 at Penn State.
I'm taking.
It's a whiteout game.
Yeah. Well, Oregon can score.
Oregon can score. let me see. Here's Oregon's. They beat Montana State 53-13. They beat Oklahoma State, who fired their coach.
Yeah, Gundy.
Gundy got fired. They beat them 69-3. They beat Northwestern 34-14, and Oregon State, they beat them 41-7. Then Penn State, as we discussed earlier, they've played. I think Howland was on. Was Howland High School on their opponent? No, I digress. It was Nevada 46-11, FIU 34-0, and they beat Villanova. Was it the high school in Villanova or the school? But anyway, 50.
Raleigh Massimino's. Never mind.
I think, they probably, Raleigh, rest in peace. But 52-6, they beat Villanova. So
I'm taking Oregon.
How about you, Irish Mike?
You know what, Pat Lucia? I'm going to take the Pennsylvania State Nittany Lions because if there's ever a must-win for a college football program, this is it. You're at home at night, and everyone's talking about you can't win big games, Jane Franklin, right?
Yep.
I'm thinking maybe they can get him, and I'm just thinking it's going to be 3 points.
I'm doing the same. I agree with Dave. I'm taking Oregon.
I think Penn State may win, but I think it's
again,
real close like that.
I don't know what you make. They played nobody. Oregon's played at least respectable teams. They've won and can score points. Granted,
it's quarterback though for Penn State. He's a 4-year starter now. If he wants to make an NFL, he's got to show progress. I mean,
he's got to show it this time.
A first-round draft pick, but he's got to show progress. You're a 4-year starter now.
I know he hasn't played that good.
Yeah, well, he hasn't played nobody yet.
Yeah,
he's so good now, but we're going to see tonight.
Right.
We'll see how he plays tonight. That's the key.
All right. The last game is Bama at Georgia. That's 7:30 ABC. They got some people are very upset because they've got Oregon, Penn State squarely against Bama, Georgia. So people are like going, why did they do that? Why did you put these two teams playing against one another? Why couldn't, say, Bama, Georgia do 3:30 or, Oregon, but then they would against Ohio State. But,
and it might have been if it was the old days when CBS, remember they used to have that package, and they played at 3:30
and that's
game.
over, right?
Yep.
They don't have that. No. So anyway, we
how
have
many points Alabama
two. Bama's getting 2 and a hook at Georgia. Alabama obviously had to they were off last week. They didn't play last week, and they took out Wisconsin the week before, 38-14, and then Georgia's also was off last week. They beat Tennessee in overtime the week before, that game that was on 3:30 and ended like at 6:37. And the Tennessee kicker missed the field goal to win it. They beat Tennessee 44-41 in overtime. So Bama's getting 2 and a hook. See if they've changed it. No, 2 and a hook. Bama gets 2 and a hook on the road in Georgia. And again, Bama's got that ugly loss to Florida State, which nobody saw that one coming.
Right.
In the beginning of the season, they played really bad. In fact, they played so bad, everybody was screaming and yelling for DeBoer's job, and they thought he should be fired.
Yeah.
Those Bama people you talk about wanting to fire their coach.
I don't know, man. That's a good one, though.
Bama's played really, to be honest with you, when you look at their schedule, they played Louisiana Monroe 73-0. Then they beat Wisconsin 38-14. But Wisconsin's, as we're seeing, they're not any good.
Yeah.
And Luke Fickell's job is in peril.
But I don't complain about those kind of games in any college because that's a big time college.
Right.
You playing. I don't like when you playing these little small.
No,
stuff,
when you're playing, Louisiana Monroe. Yeah.
Normally, when Wisconsin was good, this would be a good matchup for them.
Right.
Right. But I actually think Simpson's the better quarterback than Georgia's quarterback.
What do you think, Irish Mike?
At times he can throw the football.
Dave, you've been on the air with Lucia now for 20 years. You know the two things they say about college football. He does not want you playing a directional school, and he doesn't want you to play a school with a hyphen in it. Okay?
Yeah, that's
well-known.
true.
Am I wrong, Pat Lucia?
No,
Thank you.
all the time.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with Georgia at home.
Yeah. I just think they need more points than 2.5, especially coming down between the hedges, as they say, right?
Yeah, that they're playing in the hedges. Between the hedges, not in the hedges.
They may get some.
They might be in, but there may be somebody get in the hedge.
Yeah, somebody will get knocked into the hedge.
Someone's going to get knocked into the hedge.
I'm gonna take Georgia 2 at home.
Yeah, I got Georgia down. I'll take Georgia, lay the points. I'm still a little out on Alabama. I mean, they beat a Wisconsin team. The only thing that tells me is we know Wisconsin's not any good. But Alabama looks, but that's the first game of the year. And they played Louisiana Monroe, so I don't know what you draw from any of it. But I'll take Georgia and lay the 2.5.
And if Georgia wins the game tonight, the hot seat will be back on for the head football coach of Alabama. We all know it.
Yeah,
because it's big.
Right.
This is big.
The two questions I have: if they make a move, because Alabama would make a move at the end of the year if they're not satisfied. We all know that. First question, two-part question: would Nick Saban consider coming back to Alabama?
No.
And part two: how about this? Urban Meyer to Alabama.
No. Urban's done.
You don't see either one of those happening?
He's done.
Either one of those scenarios?
No.
One or two?
Saban's done because Saban doesn't want to deal with NIL. It's not going to change. He knows what it is. Why would he come back? And he's old.
Okay.
Saban's what, 72, 73? Not young.
73,
yeah.
Okay. He's done. He knows he's done.
Meyer's only 61.
Yeah, but Urban's done because he's got health issues that that won't go away. Like, this is what cracks me up. Well, no. People keep forgetting, and I will never forget the time on that Maryland sideline, I thought the man was having a stroke and was going to die. I mean, that's the reality here. And the reality is, I just don't think Urban's coming back. He's got a good gig, doing what he's doing on the set there. And just for you, Irish Mike, the buyout for Kalen DeBoer, $87 million.
I was gonna say, is it
okay?
$80 million?
It said it goes to $70 million at the end of 2025.
Okay.
So bottom line is what always cracks me up with the coaches, everybody screaming, $70 million buyout Kalen DeBoer. What makes me always laugh is people say, I'm going to fire the coach. Oh, yeah? Well, then you better you better go out to your boosters and see how big checks they want to write, because it's the same thing with Dabo Swinney. Dabo Swinney's buyout, I think I sent this to you last week, Irish Mike. We were about, everybody's talking about Dabo Swinney. Oh, they're going to, fire Dabo.
Time to move on.
Time to move on. He hasn't done what he was supposed to do. He's losing control of the program. The game has passed him by.
And a lot of experts predicted Clemson gets this eventual team to win the national championship this year in August.
Exactly.
I have more than one better than Clemson's going to win it all.
The expectation level for Clemson was through the roof. Not only were they going to make the playoff, but they were going to
veteran quarterback, running the control.
Yep, and they were supposed to compete for the national title, and they were going to, definitely be in the discussion there. Top team in the country, and now they're 1-3, and they're all wanted. This fan, we're going to fire Dabo. Yeah, well, $60 million to fire Dabo, and he doesn't have an offset. See, this is the thing with these contracts. We talked about Luke Fickell. Fickell's buyout is cheaper. He's only 30. He has 80% of 31 million, 25 million, but he has offset language in the contract. So if Fickell gets fired, they owe him the 25 million, but if he goes coaches somewhere else, they get to offset that to the 25. So they say, here's an example. Fickell goes to coach another school, say they give him 10 million. Then Wisconsin only pays him 15 million because they can offset the 10 from the 25. Mm-hmm. However, if Dabo gets canned, Dabo gets all the money. He can go coach at Alabama, and they have to pay him all of the money, like our buddy Jimbo Fisher. Mm-hmm. Fisher had the same deal where he had no offset language. So if Jimbo Fisher would have got another job, that's great, but they have to pay him the full amount. Dabo Swinney has the same thing. he gets all that money. So Dabo Swinney, for all those Clemson fans that now want to think the game has passed him by and he needs to be fired, that's great. But they owe him $60 million in 2025, and it drops to $57 million in 2026. Yeah. And he has no offset language, which means
start talking to the boosters.
Talk to the boosters. And, oh, by the way, Dabo gets all the money. Then if Alabama fires DeBoer, I don't know if they're going to fire him either. I got to see if he's got offset language. But the point is, if they don't have offset language, they got to pay the whole enchilada.
Yeah.
At least with offset language, if the guy goes somewhere else, you get a break on the salary.
The boosters on it, because you know what, they're going to be clamoring for these guys to go. DeBoer them, but you connected some dots, I believe, because if that happens, then something might happen with Dabo, because I think Dabo would come to Alabama on a big stage like that where he can recruit again, start fresh somewhere else. He might go to Alabama.
DeBoer's his contract is subject to offsetting, so they would reduce the payout. So if Kalen DeBoer, they buy him out $70 million. If he goes coaches somewhere else, Alabama would be able to offset that $70 million with other money.
Well, if he keeps what's going on, he's out.
Right, and then he may not.
They're not going to be patient.
Right, and they'll buy him out, but they can't offset that $70 million unless he wants to go to Big Noon Kickoff and be with Urban and Irish Mike's, because Ash is going to be there with Urban, and you'll have Ash, Kalen DeBoer, and Urban, and maybe what they should do is just change the name to ex-coaches making a lot of money.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Getting a lot of money, and then those guys don't have to worry about offset because they're not coaching, so there's no offset, and they can go on TV, and then they could tell everybody what they do wrong.
Yeah,
it's a great country we live in. You can make $70 million and say, "I'm not going to coach. I think I'll take a couple of years off, and I'll be on one of the shows on TV,
making a few extra million,
and you can just sit there and go, okay, I'm done." Or don't go anywhere and just, sit back and do a podcast.
Yep.
So there you go. So that's what we have.
Huh?
Yeah.
So.
That's a fact. Well, yeah, it's always a fun time talking with you guys. So I'm gonna have to get running here.
Okay.
So I'll be listening to your NFL. I know you're going until noon today, so I'll be listening on the road.
We'll do the NFL.
NFL picks and see how you guys do.
Okay.
All
right.
Better this week, Dave Clark. Pick 'em much better, buddy.
Okay.
Take care.
Later.
Bye bye.
That was Irish Mike. All right. Yeah, that's what you have going on in the college ranks with these coaches and these buyouts.
Right.
You start talking about buying these guys out. Dabo's got, again, at least there's offset language, but not with Dabo.
No.
So Dabo gets the full amount.
He's got to do something. Now, they play this week. They're not off, are they?
Good question.
It is imperative that they win.
Yeah, they are. I'll tell you what, Clemson is in a really tough spot because, to be honest with you, though, I'm convinced, I could be wrong, I don't think Dabo's goes anywhere. No, I think Clemson is off this week.
Ooh.
However, next week, this game's going to be on TV.
You play Miami, Florida.
No.
Florida State?
Chapel Bill.
Oh, God.
They're going to play Chapel Bill they're going to play in Chapel Hill.
They stink.
It'll be Clemson at UNC, noon on October 4th. So next Saturday, they're on the road, North Carolina, to play on Bill Belichick and the North Carolina Tar Heels at noon next week.
Oh, my. I don't want to see no parts of them. But that's a good way to get well early, Dabo.
And if you're interested, let's see, what are the tickets? Do you want to go down? $94 for the cheapest seat if you want to go see Belichick and Clemson.
I don't want to see no parts of
I don't think so.
North Carolina.
No. So it'll be North Carolina on the road hosting. And we'll talk about that game next week, but it'll be Chapel Bill, as I love to call Bill Belichick is now Chapel Bill. It'll be interesting to see how long he stays there in college.
Yeah, he's I'm never going to take that away from him in the pros, but it really shows you, see, a context of coaches. We talk about great coaches. Yes, he has all those wins. He's up there. But if I put side by side Don Shula and Bill Belichick, and you say to me, who's the better coach? I'm taking Don Shula. Yeah. I've seen him go to different franchises, Colts, and do well. Belichick has been there with a great quarterback.
Right.
And it's been good all the way through. Well, not all the way through. And once Brady was gone, basically, you almost wiped your hands. It was done with Belichick.
Yeah.
So how great is he? Great defensive coordinator. I know that. I just don't put him in the same lines as those guys.
Interesting, because here's a couple of the critics of Shula. He'll always be remembered as being an 18.5-point favorite and losing the Super Bowl to the Jets.
Oh, yeah.
Which that's probably why they parted ways. They didn't. It's funny. I've read a few books about it. It's very interesting how they wanted to fire him and they couldn't, but they did. And then he and the owner was Rosenblum at the time. Kind of were he fell out of favor. Mm-hmm. And then when he left for the Dolphins a couple years later, he coached 1 year and then left for the Dolphins. They were kind of upset he was leaving, but they weren't upset. It's kind of real weird how the owner was he's leaving. It's terrible. But they were people were but you kind of wanted him out because you lost that Super Bowl, which was probably maybe the worst upset of all time.
Yeah. Well, but you know what? It is an upset. It was one of the biggest upsets ever when you look at the point spread and everything. But if you knowing what I know, back then, I still thought of it anyway. I thought they underestimated the AFL. The AFL was a very good, and you've seen the improvement of it so quickly. I mean, quickly. Even though the Raiders and the Chiefs lost against the Packers, they weren't all the way there yet, but you could see it.
It was developing.
It was developing. It was getting better and better. I said, oh, no, these are big-time teams.
A couple other things I believe to this point they underestimated was Weeb Eubank.
Yep.
Used to coach the Colts.
That's right.
He knew those plays. He knew the team. He knew the matchups. He knew the players. He knew
where their weaknesses, all that.
Weeb Eubank was a very underrated coach, but I would almost say that not only was he coach, he was really a GM because he built the Colts. People don't realize that when he went to the Colts in the mid-'50s, that team was horrible. Weeb Eubank built that team and won 2 titles. He won in 58 and again in 59. He beat the Giants back-to-back, and he won 2 NFL titles from a team that was putrid. And he took it over, and he built it. And then he let go of the Colts a couple years later, ended up in the Jets. Same thing, quite low-key. He looked like Santa Claus. He was a short guy. Mm-hmm. He had you would look at Weeb Eubank and say, this guy can't coach, just his appearance alone.
Yeah.
But he was a fantastic coach, but he also was a fantastic builder of a team. He knew personnel.
That's what he did with the Jets.
Before the internet. He built that team, the Jets, from scratch, and he put a team together. People going, how does he doesn't know. You would look at Weeb Eubank and say, this guy should be playing Santa Claus for Christmas.
Yeah.
He wasn't, but he was a genius. He built these teams from scratch, and he won. He won he won a title in 68. He beat the Colts, upset the Colts in the Super Bowl, 16-7, and it was domination. They dominated the Colts that day. Colts had a lot of turnovers.
Yep.
Colts definitely should have won the game, but the point is, Weeb Eubank was a genius, and he knew how to build teams.
Mm-hmm.
And he had That's what he had. He didn't have like a lot of assistant coaches. It was him and another guy. Weeb Eubank was cleaning the locker. They were doing everything, cleaning locker rooms, cleaning the meeting rooms, because they didn't have a staff to do that.
Right.
He had like a one or two assistant coaches. He had some scouts, and that was it. He put these teams together, and it was like, how did he? His resources were so limited.
It was definitely underestimated.
And he knew he knew how to evaluate talent. Just by bringing guys in and watching them play, he knew. Like, he could say, yeah, all right, keep him, get rid of him. He just knew players from just sight.
And they thought that was just, that just happened.
No,
but you seen what happened later with Kansas City just dominating
Then
Minnesota.
you saw the same thing with the AFL. And to your point, Kansas City and Hank Stram and Lamar Hunt, they built that Kansas City team, and they did it with actually recruiting and drafting the black players out of the South from the small colleges. They built Buck Buchanan, Grambling. They basically, they took great players out of Grambling, but the NFL wouldn't draft those players. They just wouldn't.
Right.
AFL did, and that's how they built these great teams.
Yep.
I still think the '69 Chiefs is maybe one of the best teams to play ever.
Yeah, they were dominant.
They were dominant. Now you start looking at that roster. They had like Buck Buchanan, Willie Lanier.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was Rufus Mays was another player on that team. Yeah. I mean, you started going down that Jim Lynch,
Bobby Bell.
I mean, they had great players.
What was the guy named Jim Lynch? Was a
linebacker out of Notre Dame. They had drafted him.
Yeah.
I went to school with his nephew.
Johnny Robinson.
Yeah, Johnny Robinson. Safety. Otis Taylor.
Emmett Thomas.
They were
loaded.
Right. They were loaded.
Frank Pitts.
Look where these guys went to school.
Yeah.
The only guy that went to a top school was Lynch out of Notre Dame, but then all these other guys,
Warren McVay.
You had
Olin Smith.
Yeah.
I'm going to all these guys.
You're going all those guys.
That's just ridiculous.
And you start breaking down where they went to school, and it's like, where do they find these guys?
Where was Dawson from? Purdue? I forgot where Lynn Dawson. Where did he go to college at?
Purdue.
He did go to Purdue.
But he was drafted by the Steelers and cut.
Right. That's right.
He was a cast-off.
Yeah, no.
He was from Alliance, Ohio.
Yep.
And he was a cast-off. They didn't think he could play. Steelers also had Johnny Unitas and threw him to the curb and didn't think he could play.
Yeah, I know.
And they did the same thing with Len Dawson. The Steelers were an abysmal team for many years until they got Bradshaw and Joe Green back in '69. But before that, they were the laughing stock of the league.
Now that's one guy that gets under my skin sometimes is Terry Bradshaw. I hate to say that. But his comments of guys, he hates Rodgers. Yeah, why do you hate him? Because he's throwing for more touchdowns than you, or what is it?
Yeah, Terry has no filter either.
And he acts like they're not good.
Yeah, I know.
And you crazy.
Kind of like the old man get off the lawn. Yeah, like I know what you're saying.
Yeah, he just says things.
He just says these things, and you're like, you get annoyed.
Guys do be wondering. They start scratching their head. What is he talking about?
Sometimes. He's got 7. Terry Bradshaw's got to be, 70?
Yeah, he's up in there.
7?
Yeah, he's just, sometimes he just talks too much like full of himself when he starts talking about certain things.
Yeah, 77.
Yep.
He'll be 78. No, I'm sorry. He just turned 77. So he had September. Yeah, Terry's 70.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was that short. Satch, I didn't realize. You see him in that how short Terry Bradshaw looks.
Probably strong. He was. I thought he was 6-something. When he played 6'3".
Yeah.
But he
Saturday morning sports page. Overtime is coming up. We got to get to our NFL picks and do better this time. Al Lucia, Dave Clark back after a quick timeout.
The stations that are always ahead of the game. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast. Youngstown, Ohio.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
Are you ready to hit the gridiron and make your mark? The Cleveland Cobras are recruiting players and coaches for the upcoming Premier Amateur Football League season. We're looking for passion, grit, and the relentless drive to win. Whether you're a seasoned vet or hungry rookie, your shot starts now. Join a brotherhood, build a legacy, strike with the Cobras. Follow us on Facebook at Cleveland Cobras Football, or for league information, visit TAFLfootball.com to get started today. Team Pride Cobras.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all got to see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
Are you ready to join the legacy? This is your chance to become part of something special with the Youngstown Patricians. Honoring the proud football tradition of the Valley, we're on the lookout for talented post-high school athletes who want to make their mark on the field. Whether you're a seasoned high school athlete, college, or former professional player, develop your skills and become part of a team that values hard work, dedication, and community spirit. Don't wait. Begin your path to the gridiron by visiting youngstownpat.com or contacting us on Facebook at the Youngstown Patricians. Be bold, be legendary, join the Youngstown Patricians today.
All right. Overtime. Where's the dog, Gessler? You're supposed to bring the dog in for these picks. We need the dog. We need the dog. We need both those dogs to help us with these picks. We didn't do so good last week, Dave Clark.
Yep. Terrible.
They say Bradshaw was 6'3".
Yeah, that's what I thought he was. 6'3".
215.
Yep. When he came.
He's out of Louisiana. Went to Louisiana Tech. I remember that. Mm-hmm. He was drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 1970 draft. He was the first overall pick in 1970. And I remember that well.
Because Terry Hanratty was still the starter.
Yep.
At that time.
I remember that draft like it was kind of yesterday. I think I was like in 9th grade, and I remember everybody talking about that draft.
Yeah.
That 1970 draft. It was like no computer again, no internet, no nothing. We just had the newspaper, and some kid brought in the newspaper. And I remember everybody was like standing over looking at the newspaper. It was social studies. Actually, the social studies teachers talked about it. Like everybody was buzzing about it. Mm-hmm. So like, talking about history, social studies history. And then, so he goes, okay, he's like, okay, since everybody's, so worked up about this, let's kind of talk about these drafts. And then we did. We ever talked about, Bradshaw and Louisiana Tech. Mm-hmm. Where the heck is Louisiana? What school is that? Like, it wasn't, remember, this is Columbus, Ohio, Westerville, Ohio. Everybody knew Ohio State. All right. But we were like, where the heck is Louisiana Tech? Like, is that even like a school? But the funny part was I remember everybody talked about how, where are we getting these guys? And that Mike Phipps went 3rd overall to the Cleveland Browns.
Right.
And he went Purdue, and to this day, he was considered he was a bust.
Yeah. Well, I was saying they have never developed
a
quarterback.
Cleveland never has.
And the one thing I hated, I understood why Shador and Dion was talking about, but it was mainly Shador saying as far as he didn't want to go to Baltimore because they was interested in taking him. So was Philly.
Right.
And Cleveland jumped up in front of Philly so they wouldn't take him. But he didn't really want to go to them because he said, I got to sit behind him. But when you look at that in retrospect, I would have rather went there where they have developed quarterbacks before and sit behind those guys. And, yeah, you be there a couple years, things don't work out, they're still the starters, the main guys. You don't think you're going to go somewhere else? And what you're going to learn behind those guys? And then you have situations where those guys have missed a few games here and there with Lamar and Jalen Hurts. So now you get a chance to put something on tape, and you playing with a top team.
That's the key.
You can go to anywhere.
Yep.
Now you at the Browns. You're not on the field with them. They don't have anything of developing quarterbacks. Makes your journey a lot harder.
Yeah.
You know. But he needs the opportunity. But like I said, I just think Dylan Gabriel needs to be out there now, see what he has. If he got it, keep him in there. If he, doesn't do what he needs to do, get Shador in and find out if you got something.
Dylan Gabriel.
Because why go get another quarterback next year?
No. See these
and you
guys
just wasting
out.
these. You can fill other parts of your roster up.
Right, exactly.
There's a lot of holes they have offensively, especially the line. They need a lot of things they need to do.
Right. This would be their opportunity to see these guys.
Yep.
You got to play Dylan.
You got to find out.
Get him in there, play him now, see what he does.
Not wait until that
Don't
9th,
wait
10th game
until the
season.
12th week of the season. Don't.
So
do it
stupid.
now. They're not because they won that game. It was almost a curse because you won a game. Hey, the reality is,
this might be it though. After this week,
if they happen to go up, I don't think it's going to happen. We'll get to it. But if they would somehow, some way, pull a game out of their proverbial butt and beat the Lions, then you'll never get rid of Flacco. If they go 2-2, if they upset the Lions, you'll never. I mean, you're going to have to wait longer and longer. But I agree with you. I think what they need to do. I don't think they're going to beat the Lions. Question is, can the Lions cover 10.5? We'll get to this. But the point is, even if they go play the Lions really tough and lose by a field goal, they're not going to bench Flacco. That's the problem. If they get blown out, then maybe they will. If offensively he plays bad, it turns it over, and they get blown out, then maybe they'll say, okay, we need to get Dylan Gabriel in, and then potentially see him, and then see maybe Shador, and see both of them, and see what these guys have to offer, because they could potentially be, really good quarterbacks, but you don't know. And, I know Shador, the people with Shador is its craziness of what they're all like speculating. And I know, what did he made a comment about third string competing with the first string guys or something. I don't know. I tried.
You talking about lately?
Lately. He made some comment. They were talking about it too on this sports talk.
Well, I seen the thing when he was on. He said about it doesn't matter if you got a third string line in a second string. You got to perform regardless. And I think he said I could play. If you've seen the quarterback play around the league this year.
Yeah, that's what he said.
He said, I think I could still play and compete.
That's what it is.
So what's wrong with saying that?
That's what I mean. And that's the point. It seems to me.
Anything he said, though.
It's it. And they take it out of context.
Yeah.
And listen to the whole thing he says. It's like, yeah, okay, I can understand that. No, they take a snippet.
Yep.
But that's our world we live in, and I'm not going to go I don't want to go off the range on that because you could use that. Yeah, but that's right. They take things and they take it out of context, and then it's like, well, what is he,
Well, they got to make stories.
And that's it. They have to make something happen.
Yep, because they got to sell.
Real quick, and we'll move on because I know it's a long time ago, but that 1970 draft, Mike Reed was drafted by Cincinnati at number 7 out of Penn State. Cedric Hartman out of the old 49ers, remember him?
Yeah.
He was drafted 9th, and Kenny Burrow.
That was the defensive lineman, right?
Yep,
Hartman?
D-end.
Yeah, he was good.
He was good.
And Kenny Burrow was definitely good.
And Kenny Burrow was really good. He was the 0 out. And the New Orleans Saints drafted him. But he ended up with Houston.
Yep, sure did.
And then here's a name in the past. This player was drafted number 5 overall out of USC. Al Cowings.
Wow.
Wow.
Buffalo, too.
Buffalo.
Yep.
And then the Giants drafted, I'll never forget this guy, Jim Files, a linebacker out of Oklahoma. Average player.
You know what's so funny?
Just an
Al
average.
Collins, I bet you OJ had a lot to do with him getting drafted by the
Maybe.
Buffalo
Yeah,
Bills.
probably
too.
did because
They
he
was
and
best
OJ
of
were
friends.
both USC. Yes.
Yeah, they was best of friends.
Yeah, they
man.
were same age.
Yeah,
almost.
He
Yeah.
came the very next season.
Yes.
Did OJ go in '69 to
Yes.
to Buffalo?
Yes, OJ went 69. They're actually Al Collins and OJ were born in 1947. They're born real close age-wise.
Okay.
But yeah, I believe OJ was OJ was basically drafted in 69 by the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, he was born. He and Al Collins were almost. They were like a month. OJ was born July 9th of 1947. Al Collins was born June 16th of 1947. They were like less than a month apart in age. They both played for USC. Al Collins went to Galileo High School out of San Francisco. I think that's where OJ.
He went to.
He was from San Francisco too.
Yeah, and he went to junior college.
And I'm sure they knew one another.
Yep.
They grew up as friends. Back in the day, but then Al Collins actually didn't have that. He played 10 years.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Buffalo, Houston, Rams, Seattle, back to the Rams, Montreal, Alouettes a year, and then back to the Niners. But 10-year career in the NFL, not bad.
No.
But the other, I like looking at some of these drafts. Norm Bulach.
I remember him.
Baltimore Colts was drafted number 18. Raymond Chester.
The human bowling. Oh, now what a tight end that was.
And Hacksaw Reynolds. Jack Hacksaw Reynolds was drafted. He was from Cincinnati, Ohio, Jack Reynolds. And he played for Western Hills in Cincinnati. He went to Tennessee. He was drafted by the L.A. Rams.
Yep.
Back then, the old Hacksaw Reynolds.
Mm-hmm.
And he was in that draft, too. He was 22nd. And then Raymond Chester. Raymond Chester went to Morgan State. He was drafted by the Oakland Raiders.
And they had Casper and Chester at the same time.
Yes.
That's insane.
That was insane. And Ronnie Shanklin was drafted by the Steelers in the second round. He went to North Texas State. He was a pretty good player, Ronnie Shanklin.
Sure was. Oh, yeah.
But
good receiver.
Good receiver.
Yeah.
And Rich Castor was drafted in the second round by the Jets out of Jackson State, number 46. And right after him, the Browns drafted Jerry Shirk out of Oklahoma State. And then this is the one I always love, these old drafts. Third round, first players chosen in the first round, Mel Blount from the Steelers. Mel Blount was a third round pick out of Southern University for the Steelers.
In that same draft.
In that draft in 1970.
What a pick.
What a pick.
So they got Bradshaw, Shanklin, and Blount.
Yeah.
That's insane.
They got
all
Bradshaw
of them was key.
was a Hall of Famer. So was Blount, and then Shanklin was a Hall of Famer.
But he was a decent.
Yeah, he was a good player.
25,
solid player.
Yep.
And yeah, they got Shanklin in the second round, Mel Blount in the third round. That was a steal.
What the heck did he get in the fourth?
Look this
that,
up.
That had to be the changing of that team.
Well, the year before they got Mean Joe Green in '69. He was the first player taken in '69.
Yeah, that they built that team,
and that's how he basically built that team.
Yep. Great draft.
Yeah, after that they got an offensive tackle, Ed George, in the fourth round. They never did anything out of Wake Forest. I'm just seeing did they pick, but actually Rooney really picked. They really developed that team.
Back then, they might have 14 rounds.
They did.
And it was up there.
Yeah, they did. I think it was 14 rounds back then.
I remember that. It used to be something.
Yeah, it was 17 rounds.
17.
442 total selections, 17 rounds. Believe that. But I just marvel at, like, when you look at the players, and this is the first year there was the merger, so there was no AFL, NFL anymore.
Right.
The previous year was AFL, NFL. then they merged, and this was the first full year it was just strictly NFL.
And that was in 70.
And that was 1970.
Right.
They actually did this in January 27th, 28. That's when they did the draft, end of January 1970.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Super Bowls and all that stuff was done.
And that was
Way
done.
early.
That was the
done
Super
in
Bowl.
December, right?
The Super Bowl played in early January.
Yeah, right.
They played the Super Bowl beginning of January. That's Super Bowl that Kansas City dominated the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
I still think one of the best teams ever. And Bradshaw was number one, and the Mr. Irrelevant was drafted by the Kansas City Chiefs. Rayford Jenkins was the last player picked in the 1970 draft.
Wow.
I just, like I said, I marvel because of the era and the time and the draft. And like Bradshaw was number one. And then some of these players that you marvel like were picked in the year, and then like Mel Blount was the first player taken in the third round. I mean, what a draft. He had two Hall of Famers, Bradshaw, Mel Blount. And then Ronnie Shanklin was second rounder. He was pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. He was the guy that just basically, they had him all the way up. And he played, I think, maybe a year with Swan and them, and then he was gone.
Shanklin because they got Swan.
Swan and Stallworth.
Yeah. And Shanklin kind of not a bad player, but and then the other guy, get this, I remember he played tight end for Michigan, Mandridge. Jim Mandridge was picked
in Miami?
Miami. Tight end out of Michigan, second round, number 29 overall. He was an early second round pick.
Wow.
But I always love some of these old drafts. Yes, Shanklin played 70 to 74, and then he was out a year. Then he played with the 76 Bears.
Mm-hmm.
But he was he's a pretty good wide receiver.
Yeah.
He's passed 19 at the age of 55. 2003 he passed.
Wow.
He was from Hubbard, Texas. But interesting that you see some of these drafts.
Mm-hmm.
And where these players go. Let's go. Speaking of, since we're on the football roll, let's look at this.
Look at it. Do we need to?
Yeah, really. Anyway, let's look at the games for this week. Let's start with the 9:30 game. By the record, we got the Thursday game wrong. We took the Cardinals. They didn't cover. It was 1.5.
Was they the favorite?
They were no. They
were
were getting a point and a half.
Yeah, and they lost by 3.
Well, at least Marvin Harrison Jr. had a pretty decent game, and we'll see. Boy, everybody's just jumping on the Kyler Murray band as far as he's not the player, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, no.
He's never going to be a Super Bowl. You can't win with him. Yeah. They're all beating that drum.
Oh, they're going to definitely do that.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to start saying that. If Kansas City beats Baltimore this week, we're going to get to that game.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be 1-3.
Yeah. Baltimore will.
Baltimore will be 1-3. Or Kansas City's good.
Either
one's going to be 1-3.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with the Sunday morning game at 9:30 at the NFL Network. 9:30, Vikings are at the Steelers, and the Steelers are actually getting, I was surprised by this, the Steelers get 2.5 points.
Oh, the Steelers is getting a point.
I almost have to check because it's like...
Yeah, that probably is right.
But that's right.
That's right.
I got this because I did this morning. Mm-hmm. I waited. I didn't do it yesterday because they can change even in one day. These point spreads are like the stock market. They go up and down.
Yep.
A point here, half a point there.
Yep.
It's just insanity. But we've got Vikings on the road. Not on the road. They're both on the road. They're in Ireland. Dublin, Ireland, Dave Clark. 9:30 tomorrow morning when you get up with breakfast.
It's on.
It's on. Watching this game with your breakfast and see the Steelers are playing in Dublin, Ireland, and Steelers are getting 2 and a hook, which I thought was interesting. Yeah. So Minnesota big win last week against the Bengals, 48-10 at home. And we picked the Bengals, obviously, and they just got the Bengals just bad. I mean, they didn't even compete up there.
Yeah, I know.
At all. I mean, after beating Jacksonville and having a big win, you thought, okay, and they rolled into Minnesota. Minnesota hadn't been playing all that great either.
Oh.
But, boy, they took it out on the Bengals badly. And the Steelers had a pretty good win against the Patriots in kind of a bizarre game. I didn't watch much of it. I was too busy. I don't know. Yeah, I was kind of all over the board last Sunday watching different games.
Right.
But the Steelers are getting 2 in a hook. How do you see this? This is like
I'm gonna take the Vikings and give up the points.
Me too. I see. This is the way I look at the Steelers. The Patriots, I don't think, are that good. They should have. The Jets aren't that good. They almost lost to the Jets. Now Seattle, I think, is a really good team. I think Seattle's better than what I thought they were.
Yeah.
But I don't think the Steelers are as good. I think the Vikings have figured it out. Even though they weren't that impressive, they did beat Chicago on Monday night. Yeah, well, Flores there's the kicker. Now, this is Carson Wentz playing. It won't be McCarthy.
Right.
It'll be Carson Wentz. So he played great last week against the Bengals, but then they looked like crap against Atlanta, but that was J.J. You know, I'm not still 100% sold on J.J. McCarthy.
Mm-hmm.
But Carson Wentz played good last week, and they won basically 48-10 at home.
Yeah.
And I don't know what you take away from that end. Is maybe Carson Wentz with this coach has figured it out. Carson Wentz was 14 out of 20 for 2 touchdowns, 173 passing yards. He played a good game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of those games where you manage it well, don't turn it over, and he didn't throw for a lot of yards, but that lets me know he was managing the game well, and he made the throws that he needs to make. So
Minnesota was up 34-0.
Yeah, no, and they can win if they do that. Minnesota can win if they do that. Now Rodgers has always had a pretty good.
Yeah, he always does good against Minnesota. So I don't know if you want.
I'm still going to take Minnesota.
I'll take Minnesota and get 2.5.
Yeah.
No, lay 2.5.
Right.
All right, let's move on to the Commanders are at the Falcons, and this is almost a pick'em game, but the Commanders get 1 in a hook. They beat the Raiders last week 41-24. I think I got that game right. One of the ones I got right. What's his name? Jaden Daniels isn't playing.
Right.
He's out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be Marcus Mariota and the Falcons. This is the game we got. Everybody got this wrong. We took the Falcons. They got beat last week 30-9 by the Panthers.
And they was getting smashed the whole game.
I mean, and then I guess they took Penix out in the end and just threw in our man Kirk
Cousins.
I was going to say Kurt Russell. Maybe he could have played better for him, the actor. There was a horrendous game. They were never in the game, and this is the Panthers. They lost. I mean, they got absolutely boat raced by the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah,
it wasn't like they got beat by Green Bay or they got beat by one of the top-notch teams.
Bad.
They got absolutely taken out to the woodshed by the Carolina Panthers, 30-9. Wasn't even, and that game was never even remotely close. I mean, what the heck is going on with this team? Falcons are 1-2.
I'm gonna take Washington.
Yeah, I do too. I got to go with Washington and Marcus. Maybe Penix. It's home. Maybe they bounce back. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I thought it was 30-9. It's 30. They didn't score.
No, it's 30-0, right?
30-0. I thought it was 30-9. My bad.
Yep.
They were shut out by Carolina.
Yep.
Man, again, this is what makes the NFL the greatest sport to watch because these teams, you just never know.
And that's true.
And that's okay. The next one, let's move on. The Saints are at the Buffalo Bills. This is 14 and a hook. Buffalo is laying 14 and a hook. This is the lumber game.
Lumber.
Lumber.
I'm taking the Buffalo Bills.
I don't care either. I got to go with the Bills. Maybe the only thing is, can the Saints bounce back and
hang in
and make it a game? I don't see it.
It is the NFL, but I'm still I can't see it.
Let's go next game up on the docket. The Browns are at the Detroit Lions, and this is kind of a double-digit lumber game too. 10.5. The Browns get 10.5 on the road in Detroit. 1 o'clock.
I'm doing the Lions too. I'm not taking that.
No. I'm not buying. I mean, the Browns we missed that last week because we took Green Bay. And we were winning 10-0, and then all of a sudden, what's his name? Love throws that interception, and then things fell apart.
Mm-hmm.
And Green Bay stubbed their toe in Cleveland.
Right.
Panthers are at the Patriots. Next one on the docket. Patriots lost last week to the Steelers. We said it 21-14, and the Panthers shut out we talked about 30-0.
I know it's
I still can't get over that.
And who's getting the point?
5.5. Panthers get 5.5 in New England. I don't know where you go with this.
This is a hard one, right?
It's going to be 77 degrees and sunny, so there's going to be no weather.
It makes me want to go with Carolina, even though I think the Patriots should win. But I don't know, though. Bryce Young looked good in that game. They was able to run the ball with Hubbard and everything. They did well. Defense was tough. I'm taking Carolina. I'm going to limb. It's hard, though. Part of me want to say still take New England, the home team. But it's.
I know we are agreeing too much, but yeah, I
just don't know.
I don't know either. I'm kind of debating though.
The offense, just New England's at times they can beat you, but do they put a lot of numbers up? Not all the time. Sometimes, so they may put 17 up and beat you, but they might beat you 17-14, 17-13. I don't know if they can beat you by 5 and a hook, right?
5 and a hook. And I think that's what you've got to look at.
And that's probably what makes me go.
Here are the New England games. They lost to Vegas 20-13. They beat the Miami Dolphins 33-27. And they turned around and lost to Pittsburgh by 7. And I'm still not sold on Pittsburgh being that great of a team. So I'm kind of up. I don't think New England's that good either. And Carolina's a funny team because I know they're 1-2. And you break them down, and you have to think to yourself, can the Carolina, I mean, they're 0-2 on the road. I don't know. It's early yet in the season, but hey, they lost to Jacksonville 26-10, and they lost to Arizona 27-22. They've been somewhat competitive in their games. And their two losses, okay, Jacksonville, but they came back in Arizona and kind of made that a game.
Yeah. Well, in Jacksonville, it was
a game.
And then they turned it over towards the end, and they scored again.
And they scored again, and that's what the deception is.
Yeah.
I know we maybe overanalyzed it. I'll take the Panthers. I'll take the points because I think they can keep it close.
Yeah.
Whether or not they can actually beat the Patriots in New England, I think they can keep it relatively close.
Right.
They've been competitive in their games. Let's go on. This is a goodie. The Bolts. The LA, we still call them the San Diego Chargers. On the road in New York against Jackson Dart and the G-Men. That's at 1 o'clock, a CBS game. Obviously, the Bolts won last week 23-20 over the Broncos. I got that right. On one hand, 3 games. I know the games I got, there's so few.
Right.
The Giants, I got lost. You got that right. You took the Chiefs and laid the points. I did the other. So I was mad about Russell Wilson. If they got a touchdown, they would have covered.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's the music. We'll finish this up. We got a half hour. We got all these games left. All right.
Okay.
We'll talk about the balance of the games. 12 o'clock today's Saturday Morning Sports Page. We'll be back after this really quick timeout. on Western Reserve Radio.
Are you tired of switching apps just to catch your favorite shows and live events? Say hello to the iMedia1 Network app, your one-stop destination for streaming and everything that matters. From national sports to exclusive local content, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast are now all in one place, anytime, anywhere. Download the free iMedia1 Network app on iOS and Android and unlock the future of sports audio in the palm of your hand. The iMedia1 Network, your sports app in the Valley.
Hey, let me ask you something. Would you seat your 3-year-old child on a windowsill? Would you seat them beside a lit fireplace or by the deep end of a pool? One last question. Would you seat your child in a car seat that's not correct for them? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Secure their future. Seat them in the correct car seat. For more information, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Sherman Gillums Jr., Paralyzed Veterans of America.
For more than 70 years, Paralyzed Veterans of America has helped hundreds of thousands of veterans get all the benefits they have earned.
Al Kovac Jr., Paralyzed Veterans of America.
We provide one-on-one support tailored to your individual needs, including healthcare advocacy, benefits support, and career assistance.
For more information, call 1-800-424-8200 or visit pva.org. A public service of Paralyzed Veterans of America.
Saturday morning sports page right back at you. 330-707-4202. Get in, talk sports. We do it every Saturday morning here. Here is Western Reserve Radio. Usually 9 to 11, but today's 9 to 12 during football season. Be like a week-by-week call.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
Anyway, that's the other thing this time of year. With baseball, this is like the a la carte of sports. You got college football weekend. This is through the charts.
Yep.
This pro week, this NFL though, the difference between NFL and college, we say it 100 times. NFL always delivers. Yeah. Every weekend, I don't care. People say this is a terrible weekend for the NFL. Yeah. No, it's not.
Nope.
There's always going to be a game. Look at the Thursday night game. Mm-hmm. People were blowing that game off. Seahawks, Cards. Cardinals came back and made that a game. I thought it was a good game.
Yeah.
And I thought the Cardinals were going to make a move, and they did.
Yeah.
They just came up a little short, but a great game.
Mm-hmm.
And if that kicker doesn't, to me, in that game, and we'll get the kicker kicking off, he doesn't get the ball to the landing area, and he gave the ball to the Seahawks on the 40-yard line.
Yeah.
I knew right then and there game was over because they didn't have what to go. And Darnold played good. Yeah. But I thought if they would have kicked it off and maybe the guy started at the 20 or 25, they don't get to where they needed to be to kick the field goal. And it would have been overtime.
Yep. That's exactly right.
But it didn't go that way.
Nope.
So we are at MetLife tomorrow at 1 o'clock. The Bolts, the LA, we still call them the San Diego Chargers, and they will always be the San Diego Chargers, are at the Giants. And the Giants are getting 6 and a hook. Jackson Dart will be the starter. The Bolts won last week, 23-20, on a very close competitive game with the Broncos, and they found a way to win it. And I got to give a lot of credit to the Chargers last week because I thought maybe the Broncos would win that game.
Yeah.
But they came up ahead 23-20, and they are 3-0, the Bolts.
Yes, they are.
So now they're in the Meadowlands taking on the G-Men, and the G-Men are getting 6 in a hook, the 0-3 Giants, who lost a tough game last week, 22-9, led to Russell Wilson being benched. And you said this off air that you think Russell Wilson will be playing for another football team. He may not be done with the Giants either. So, I mean, like, I know they've been, and they wanted Jackson Dart to finish the year. Well, we know how that goes. But
well, the only reason I think that, I'm looking
you
at
think
these
they'll
teams
actually,
with injuries. I'm thinking Cincinnati
could
be a team because with what they got on offense, they can actually compete. So you want to get somebody in there that's a veteran, could do something. Let them go ahead and do that. And they still got Jameis Winston in New York if they have to bring in somebody to back up.
Yeah, you got
Dart.
Jameis.
You still got him there,
Yeah,
so
could be.
Yeah, I just think he's only $2 million, Russell. So if you had to go and get him,
it's not a lot
it's
of
not
money.
going to be
Right.
a lot of money.
No,
It'll be
no.
a perfect pickup for teams that have
right,
lost
they
their
think
guys.
that he could be potential. He's not a backup. He's maybe not a full-blown starter, but he's a tweener, and he could be the difference.
Yeah.
He's better than what you have.
Right. Somewhere like even the Saints. You hate to say that, but he had to be in the lonely Saints. But
Yeah,
but the quarterback hasn't been really bad. It's just
the team stinks.
Yeah, his team is just overall not good.
Terrible. I mean, I know Spencer Rattler, but I again, to that poor guy's defense, that team is so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, he has no chance.
Right.
On that team. 6.5, Dave Clark. How do you feel? Do you think the Giants can lose and still, 6.5?
I do believe they're going to be fired up at
They'll
home.
be fired up at home.
But I'm going to say I'm taking the Chargers.
Me too. I'm a Giant fan, and I would like to jump on to Jackson Dart, and I'm going to go with the Bolts. Here's a good one. The Eagles are at the Buccaneers. Buccaneers found another way to win a game. They beat the Jets last week, 29-27. The Eagles, I got that game right. It was the other one I got on the block kick.
Yeah.
They covered because of that block kick.
Yeah. And they was winning anyway and could have won
Right.
anyway
Well,
just by
1
blocking
point.
it. Yeah,
the guy
by
blocked it and ran down the field. I was
he
like,
helped you out. He got you a win.
He helped me out.
Yeah, he did.
I needed all the help I could. Yes. Eagles, 3.5. Buccaneers. Buccaneers get 3 and a hook at home as they're hosting the Eagles. The Eagles haven't been overly impressive this year. Buccaneers have won they've been winning these
good.
games. They won that one, and then the Buccaneers have won all their games this.
Yeah,
every game has been you're at the edge of your seat with the Buccaneers. I mean, they've won.
What I couldn't believe is that, the Buccaneers have done what they needed to. The Eagles, I'm glad that Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown spoke up. Kevin Catullo, he wasn't too happy about it, but they're telling the truth when they said our offense is the most conservative thing they have ever seen. And Jalen Hurts said sometimes people say they'd rather watch paint dry. Now, he didn't like him saying that about but he's telling the truth. You got all this firepower. And A.J. Brown, I said it a couple weeks ago, is all he's doing is getting calisthenics because all he does is run routes. They don't never throw it to him. He doesn't do that. I mean, he's unuseful. So, I mean, come on, open the offense up. Just don't play to lose. I mean, not to lose. Play to win. Herm Edwards. Play to win the game. Go and play. And just do what you need to do. So
Tampa Bay,
but they got a history against the Eagles way back. So I'm taking them.
Tampa Bay?
Yeah, they're giving up points or
getting.
Yeah, I'm just taking
3 and a hook home dog.
The Eagles got to find a way to beat them. This might be it, but I'm telling you.
Here's
they do it.
Tampa Bay's victories. They beat Atlanta 23-20, Houston 20-19, the Jets 29-27. So that's six differential of 6 points
in 3 games.
In 3 games. They won by 3, won by 1, won by 2.
which tells me they can win close games,
Yep.
and they play close games. So I'll just take the points because they
Me
play
too.
close games.
I think since it's 3.5, I haven't been right yet, but but I like the 3.5 because it could be the 3. And if you look at what Tampa Bay's been doing, and even the Eagles haven't been blowing people out.
No, they both have played.
They beat Dallas by 4 points, 24-20. So it wasn't like they blew them out.
No.
And the Rams actually had them, they were up by 1 point. I mean, the Rams, at one point, you thought the Rams were going to win the game because the Rams were leading the game.
Uh-huh.
And
it was 26-9.
26-9 at one point. And then obviously the Eagles came storming back to pull it out, and they got the blocked field goal. But when you break this game down and you break the Eagles down, they haven't been like over. Oh, and they beat Kansas City by 3 points in Kansas City. So all their games have been really close. Let's go on. Yeah.
Until the offense opened up, it was like who was this team on the field? Filled up because they was playing conservative. It was just getting smashed around. As soon as they start throwing the ball, doing other things, all of a sudden, here they go.
Let's go to the Titans at the Texans. I don't know what to make of this. 7.5. Titans get 7.5.
Wow.
Texas has not been playing good. They're 0-3. They lost to the Jags last week, 17-10. They obviously got beat by the Buccaneers earlier. The Texans have not been playing good football.
Not at all.
And the Titans are 0-3 too. They got absolutely boat raced by the Colts last week in Daniel Jones.
And the Titans are getting 7.5?
Yes, the Titans get 7.5 on the road in Texas against the Texans. The Texans they seem like a shadow of a team that they used to be. I don't know. They're just not the same team they were last year. They're struggling. They seem out of sync. I don't know. I know they're talking about their line isn't that good. I've watched them play. They're not playing good. And that's what I kicked myself because I should have said, man, I probably should have taken the Jags. I was thinking about taking the Jags last week because I just didn't think the Texans were playing good.
Right.
But now they're playing the Titans, and the Titans, again, I mean, I guess if the Texans get right, it should be against the Titans.
I know.
Should it be more than 7.5? Therein lies your dilemma.
I'm going to take... this is a hard one. I'm going to take the Titans.
And the points.
Yeah, 7.5.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard. They haven't done nothing too much to make you be confident. I'm not confident in it. But
I'll take the Texans just because I'm not going to regret it. I think the Texans snap back. And if they're going to do it against somebody, it should be against the Titans. So I might be wrong. I have a bad feeling, though, the Texans are going to lose. But let's move on.
One thing about them, their defense is really tough.
Defense is good. Colts are at the Rams, 4 o'clock, 4:05 on Fox. 3.5.
Like that,
Rams lay 3.5 to the Colts visiting. Colts 3-0. Daniel Jones. Is this the week they get beat?
Yep, I think it is.
So of course it's 3.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna still take the
Rams and lay the hook.
Yeah, I think this is the week.
I'll go other way. I'll take the 3.5. The Colts. I think the Colts keep it close, and they win or lose 3. I like the 3.
I'm starting.
I like the hook.
I think I'm going back on the one game though. The Titans game. I took the Titans.
You took the Titans.
I think I'm going Texans because the one thing about it that in this whole game that I'm sure about, the Texans defense.
Yeah,
that defense is pretty good.
Yeah,
they're really good, and Tennessee ain't shown offense, so
they haven't been.
I'll just take the Texans.
Let's go on to the Jags or at the 49ers, and the Niners obviously. They don't have. I don't think Brock Purdy is back, so it'll be Matt.
Yeah, no, he's playing.
Brock Purdy is back.
Yep.
Okay, it's been announced. Okay,
night.
so it's 3.5. The Jags get 3.5 in San Francisco.
Yeah, I'm taking San Fran because of Purdy being back. Even though Mac Jones hasn't done bad, and Purdy said I probably need to go ahead and get in there before he gets too familiar with my coach and have any kind of issues here.
I'll take the Niners.
Yep,
too.
That's what I'm taking them.
Let's look at the Ravens at the Chiefs. Now, this is the one. Both these teams are 1-2, to a lot of people's surprise. The Chiefs are actually getting 2.5. The Chiefs are a home dog here, getting 2.5 against the Baltimore Ravens, who lost last week 38-30 to the Lions on the Monday night game. And then we saw the Chiefs Sunday night beat the New York Giants 22-9. Again, I don't know I don't think the Giants are a good team. The Chiefs did kind of struggle, but won the game. That's all that really counts. But I can't figure the Ravens out.
I can't figure them.
Because I keep thinking they're definitely one of the top teams in the league, and they're 1-2. And their defense at times seems like, and the way they played Monday night against the Lions was almost embarrassing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they just
that defense. I mean,
that
defense looked like one of the worst in the league.
And they gave up 41. They gave up 41 points to the Buffalo Bills, and they gave up 38 points to the Lions.
Yeah, and the Chiefs got to get on track. I'm taking the Chiefs in the points. I'm going another home dog. It's hard.
Plus 2.5.
Yeah, that's a tricky number, but I'm going to go with it.
Man, that's tough because I know I like the home dog too. I just have not been impressed with the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the only thing, the Ravens only gave up 17 points to Cleveland, but they gave up 40 points to Buffalo and 30. And we know the Cleveland Brown defense stinks. So they gave up 30. Yeah, I'm talking about Cleveland's offense. I'm sorry, not the defense. The Cleveland Brown offense is horrible. So the Ravens only gave up 17 points, but against a good offense, they gave up 40 to Buffalo and 38. They 41 to Buffalo, 38 to Detroit.
Yeah, I'm staying with that KC.
I don't know. Yeah, I like the Chiefs at home, and I'll take the points too. Although I still think the Ravens are a better team.
Yeah, me too. I do, but they haven't played up to their expectations. Maybe this will be the game that'll spur them forward.
Okay, here's the next one that's going to make. Okay, the Bears. Caleb had a great game against the Cowboys.
I'm gonna take the Bears too.
1.5. You're getting 1.5 if you take the Bears.
Yeah, I'm gonna take them because until the Raiders show me they can block with their offensive line, you can't just let Geno throw all day. Even though he had big statistics and good statistics, you can't just do that. You got to be able to run the ball too to make them. I think they're a better offense when they're able to do that. Till then, I'm going to go with the Bears.
Me too. I'll take the Chicago Bears too. Packers are at the Cowboys.
This is
Sunday nighter, 8:20.
What did Micah say? Pain. He said it's going to be pain out
6.5. Cowboys are a home dog, getting 6.5 at home. Packers 2-1. They lost obviously last week. The Cowboys got absolutely beaten down last week against the Chicago Bears in Chicago. They didn't even compete. And now you got CD Lamb out because they run him like a running back, which I have no idea what they're doing.
I understand them trying to do stuff like that, but I only like doing it with certain guys with a running back mentality. And I only see two players that's like that. Deebo Samuels and DJ Moore in Chicago. You could run them guys. They like running backs.
Yeah,
DJ Moore, you see, he plays running back.
He does.
Sometimes.
Those guys play.
Them guys is powerful. Don't hurt CD Lamb.
CD Lamb is...
Don't do that.
No, he's not physically big. He's quick, but he's not like he shouldn't be running a ball. My gosh.
But
he's out
Pickens
now.
is not CD Lamb. You know Pickens is an effective receiver. He's not CD Lamb.
No, he's not as good as CD.
And
how long is CD Lamb out for?
He could be anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks.
Oh, jeez. Oh, that's not good.
That's that high ankle sprain.
Yeah, that high ankle sprains are bad.
It's hard to say.
They say you can't put
they said
weight.
3 to 6. Yeah, you just don't know.
Depends on the severity. Those things could almost be season ending.
Yep.
Some of them can be bad. Packers lay 6.5. That's more. I'm going to go Packers.
I'm going to go Packers there.
Because I don't think the Cowboys' defense.
Love was bottled up in everything against the Browns.
He
And,
won't.
no.
Not this week.
No, that's what I'm saying. This is the thing. They're gonna. I mean, the offense is gonna want to unleash something after that beat down that the Browns defensively gave them. They're gonna want to unleash, and then think about Micah. He wants to unleash in all the Packers and Gary. Oh, he's been a terror. We talk about Micah, but Gary has been a
Gary's
terror.
actually really good. Yeah,
and it's going to be tough for Dak.
The next one is the Monday Nighter.
Oh, God.
The Jets are at the Finns. Both teams are 0-3. The Finns played pretty good Thursday night and lost to the Bills 31-21.
Yep.
The Jets actually maybe could have possibly won that game against the Buccaneers, but they're the Jets, so they find a way to lose. And the Finns are actually laying 2.5. So it's not a field goal. So the Jets get 2.5 on the road Monday night, 7:15. This is an ESPN game. 84 degrees, no rain. Going to be a nice night down in the Hard Rock Stadium in the Miami Gardens, Florida.
I was trying to read some information.
Your Miami Dolphins taking on 0-3, 0-3. I know they want to fire the Dolphin coach and the worst McDaniel. They want to fire him.
They're both 0-3. I don't know what to do. And it is
well
quarterback. See, Tyrod.
That's the question. Yeah, that's what we need to determine.
Even though I like Fields back in there because of the running, but do you want him running around after coming off a concussion protocol? Do you want him technically running around? Because to be honest with you, Tyrod Taylor is the better technical quarterback. If you want to throw the football, he is the better quarterback.
For the record, Justin Fields will return for the Jets on Monday night against the Dolphins.
And I just think he's a big factor if he can run the ball. But do you want him to run the ball?
Not coming off a concussion.
You really would. But that you need him to because he makes your offense so much more effective when he does that. So
he is.
Tyrod Taylor can play traditional quarterback and do the job.
Yeah, see, you're right. I think they are. They might be better in this game against if they had Tyrod, but
yeah, I wonder. So.
It's Fields, and Fields is the guy. He's going to start. It is all over. So I mean, all over the news here. Justin Fields is the guy. He will be starting for the Jets on Monday night at 7:15.
I technically want to go for the Jets. I do. I just don't know if I can.
I'm taking Miami because I saw the way Miami played against Buffalo, and I don't think Miami's nearly as bad as maybe their record.
Yeah.
I just don't think the Jets are a very good football team. I mean, I do like Justin Fields, but they're the Jets, and granted, Miami's not much better.
That's another team that's wasting some defensive
right, and then
stuff too.
Exactly.
They got good defensive players, but I'm gonna go. Miami's at home, so I'll give up it's 2.5, right?
Yeah, I'm going to give, Jets get 2.5 in Miami.
It's only 2.5. If it was 3.5, I might think about the
Jets.
But I'll try the Dolphins also.
All right. Finally, the Bengals are at the Broncos.
Oh, God.
It's 7.5. The Bengals get 7.5 in Denver.
You know what? I don't care. You're not holding down Chase and all them guys again. I guarantee they get the ball to these guys. Somebody get it if they got some kind of way.
Well, the problem is
they can't stop nobody either, though. But
the thing you have,
Bo Nix has not been playing well either.
No, I don't. The Broncos lost last week, 23-20.
Mm-hmm.
The Bengals go to Minnesota, man.
Yeah, I know.
What happened? Did they just? I mean, that game was over at halftime. That score was almost. Yeah. That was like a high school score at halftime. Where's the continuous clock?
Yeah, that's why I'm taking them. You know, that's one thing about NFL players, pride. Well, they will come back after something like that. I'm taking the Bengals.
Okay.
7.5, right?
I'm going to take the Broncos.
Is that the amount, or is this 7?
7.5.
7. Yeah, I'm going to take it.
Let me look at it again.
Because one thing, statistic I looked at, they showed, it was nice. Nick Wright had it on. I was watching that. Bo Nix is 1-10 against playoff teams or teams above 500. He doesn't do well. Teams with losing records, he has done in the past up till he's done well.
Yeah, Denver's on 1-2.
And he said he's never thought of them being. He said, I know they got a terrific defense, but he never looked at them as being top flight.
No.
Offensively, and that's why he didn't understand why people was thinking they'll challenge the Chiefs. So I'm looking at both of them. They're in bad, but Browning usually plays better than he played last week. I mean, the whole team, they was just defenses was giving up everything. So I think he'll be better this week.
Browning. They're playing in Mile High Stadium.
Yep.
Thin air.
I'm just going to take them. I think it's going to be a good game.
I'll go the other way.
I like the hook.
Yeah, the hook could be the difference.
Yep.
I'll take the Broncos. I think the Bengals, if they have another game where they get hammered, then they got to be.
Oh, they're on the phones.
They're on the phone. They got to figure out.
They got to get a quarterback.
You got to get a quarterback because Browning ain't the guy.
Yeah, if he doesn't play well, you have to get.
You got to get a quarterback because that team has got way too much talent. You paid all the money to the wide receivers to keep those guys, and you just can't see the season go down the toilet. And Burrow won't have to worry about playing in December because they'll be so far out of it. He'll be playing next year because there's no sense if they're,
they're 1-2 right now.
The Bengals are 2-1.
Oh yeah, that is right. They were 2-0.
Yeah, the Bengals were 2-0 going into that game. Yeah. That's why we picked them.
That's right.
We picked the Bengals last week to go to Minnesota because we didn't think Minnesota was. Minnesota didn't look all that great.
Yeah, they can't let their team go south.
You just can't. That's what blew me away. Was we had the Vikings. Like we thought, well, the Vikings were 1-1, and they barely beat Detroit. They played one quarter to beat Detroit, and then they got beat by Atlanta soundly.
Yeah.
And then JJ was hurt and he was out. So we figured, okay, and then they were doing Carson Wentz the backup. You figured, okay, Cincinnati rolling in there 2-0. They beat the Jags, the quarterback, Browning, blah, blah, blah. And then they get absolutely just handled 48-10.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't even compete, and it was over at halftime. I saw that score at halftime, and I was thinking, you're thinking of it, what happened?
Yeah, and I just think.
Was it the dome and the sometimes they say the heat, those players get down on that field, and the heat the sunlight coming in from the windows heats the field up, and it
does.
It does, but
you know what? The other team got to play in it too.
Yeah. But I thought, well, what happened? I mean, like, how can you go? You're an NFL team. How do you go on the road and compete like that? Like you did not compete. Yeah. And it was same with the Colts blowing out the Titans. Is because I just thought to myself, you're home. It's the Colts. It's a rival. You were never in that game.
Yeah. Well, that's why that's what made me want to take the Titans against the Texans. But I said I'm gonna go with the thing that's been consistent, the defense.
What's that? Oh. No, that was something in there.
That's something in there. Okay.
Yeah.
All righty.
All right. I think they got something going on at 12:15.
Yeah. It'll be coming on soon.
It's coming on soon. It's a hockey game, I think.
Yeah. But I'm gonna definitely stay with the Bengals. I forgot they were 2-0, so
they were
2-0. I'm gonna tell you, if Browning doesn't, and it wasn't because of him why they got blown, but let's say he doesn't play well. They got to get on the phone because they can't let their season go in the toilet. Because right now, aren't they? They're on the top of that division.
Well, that division now is the Steelers 2-1,
and
the Bengals are 2-1, and the Browns and the Ravens are 1-2. Yep. I know it's early, but the Ravens are basically tied for last place with the Cleveland Browns at 1-2.
Right.
Yep. So I don't know what you bring from any of that.
Yeah. Not much. Only 3 games in.
Browning was Browning threw the ball. He was 40 for 59, 3 touchdowns and 5 interceptions.
Oh well, no, that's not good. The interception part.
381 yards.
Wow.
Bo Nix had 535. No, that's going into the Denver game. Never mind. That's Browning's numbers for not the game, but for the season so far.
Oh, okay.
Not that game. My bad.
Okay.
Saturday Morning Sports Page back next week. We'll do it again. Dave Clark, Pat Lucia. Do not drink and do not drive. Get a designated driver. Stay sober.
Youngstown, Warren, and Salem's local and national sports talk can be found on TuneIn and the Live 365 app at Western Reserve Radio, WRDB, The Scourge.
It's rooms and suites. Book the time of your life today at circalasvegas.com.
Follow live sports betting action on VEASAN Prime Time with Tim Murray and Matt Humans.
Tim, we talk about this all the time. That's where you're going to find your value in live betting is when the favorite falls behind or, if the underdog allows a big run and you